to sports. The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Get up!
Welcome into the Early Game. It's Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, and substitute teaching today. WIS's Nick Harvey.
Come on now.
In the game, not as a reliever, as a starter today. As a starter. Now, normally Nick comes in relief for your boy whenever I'm gallivanting around the state and doing something. Who else knows? But today, in his first starting appearance as an opener today, Nick Harvey. First and foremost, how'd the alarm feel this morning?
It was different. It was different from my normal 6 o'clock to 6:15 wake up to come in at 7. But I'll tell you, the arm's feeling good.
Okay.
Had a really good bullpen, so I feel ready to throw some heat this morning.
Ready to go. Yeah.
So I have to ask, what would have been your walk-up song had we had a walk-up song for you this morning?
We probably should have had that one set up for him, Jen.
That is, I got to think about that.
All right, we'll come back to you. We'll come back to you and thinking on that because yesterday, one day this week, we were talking about closers, about closing music, and we were talking about the Edwin Diaz.
Incredible.
It's amazing. Now I got chills just thinking about it just now. With the trumpets. The live trumpets, the live mariachi in LA, it's like you can't.
What a welcome. I mean,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing to witness.
Yeah.
I get chills every single time I watch that guy take the field.
So Nick is with us all day, start as an opener. So we are glad to have you, Nick. We're going to be tapping your brain for some information because we have a new perspective in the building. We have an offensive lineman in the building, and so we will be tapping into that discussion because there has been a lot of discussion about the offensive line. But before we do that, our boy Elijah is out or is getting out to Phoenix. Much luck with the travels. Hope everything goes well. As if you've been watching Twitter like I have been watching Twitter, man. Not the greatest time to be going through TSAs around the country.
Nah, the WIS team is out in Phoenix as well.
That's
right. Judy Gatson, Rick Henry, Julia Westerman went out to Sacramento last week, so they basically stay on the road for like a 2-week span. Judy, give a huge shout-out to Judy. She's a road warrior, man.
I thought I saw her on TV last night, right?
You did.
Okay, and she's going back?
She went from Sacramento back to Columbia.
Yeah.
To Newberry last night for the first GOP debate that was on our air.
I thought I saw her.
And she is going back to Phoenix tonight because we have a special airing at 7:30 for the Gamecock women as they get ready for that UConn rematch.
That's
Road Warrior.
It's called the Stud Vet.
Yeah, right.
Because I was flicking by there last night and I was like, I thought you were just in Sacramento, but it's all good. With that being said, she was in Sacramento to watch the Gamecocks advance to their 6th straight Final Four. 6 in a row. We gloss about it. We talk about it. It's probably going to be years before we can really gain a perspective. Unfortunately, it's going to be once this thing is over when we can look back and say, oh, man, that was really, really cool because that's just how these things work. But that being said, because they did suffer a couple of losses throughout the season, they were the number 4 seed. They was the 4th number 1 seed, I should say. That means that they were eventually going to have to face Goliath, and they were going to have to face undefeated UConn, and that's where we are now. What have been your thoughts leading up to this stage right now before we get into this game moving forward?
Well, I think from the start, when they lost the SEC championship, and everybody, I mean, it was inevitable at that point, right? Like, you knew they were going to end up in the Sacramento bracket. They were going to be on a collision course to see UConn. And as exciting as that is, it's also, in my opinion, I think it's a little bit unfortunate because I think the storyline would have written itself. You're getting a national championship rematch because at the end of the day, I think right now, no matter who South Carolina runs into, they've been the best team in this tournament. I think Monday night they opened a little slow, and that's something that can't happen tomorrow.
Right.
But I think to this point, I mean, when you've had the stat lines that you've had out of this team, all throughout this tournament. I mean, just in the Elite Eight game alone, like Joyce Edwards with 24 points and Agat McKeer catching everyone's attention. I mean, the amount of people during our coverage this week that we've heard of people being like, that freshman, that freshman's going to be something. I mean, because nobody had really fully acknowledged her, and she basically said, witness me on Monday night, and showed up and delivered. And if that's the kind of support you're going to get, great, but you can't go on an 0-8 run to start the game against UConn because you're not going to dig yourself out of that hole.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Elijah always talks about. He talks about the idea in basketball of the kill shot, which is 10 points unanswered. And that's going to be one of my keys to victory tomorrow when we discuss it, is that we just cannot have that at all. That just can't happen. But one of my favorite, I guess, devices is the difference between watch and warning, right? So when we talk about tornado watch versus tornado warning, it's always something like, what's the difference between that? And it wasn't until the infamous taco watch versus taco warning that I really understand what the concept was. So if you're not familiar with it, what it means is, say it's Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday, but you're on taco watch. And if you're on taco watch, that means you have all the ingredients of a taco. You have the ground beef, you have the cheese. This is a gringo taco, by the way. You have the cheese, you have the lettuce, maybe the tomatoes. Anything else you putting on your tacos?
Maybe some onions.
Maybe some onions, raw.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going with raw onions. All right, so you have all the ingredients, right? But that doesn't mean you have a taco. That just means you have the ingredients set to make a taco. That's taco watch. Taco warning is when you put them in a shell. And now it's like, we have tacos now.
We got tacos.
That being said, if the Gamecocks are on right now, if the Gamecocks are on upset watch, right, there's a lot of conversation. Right now, the Gamecocks are going into this as an underdog. Last time we checked yesterday, they were 5.5 by Vegas, but Bart Torvik had them actually as favorites, which was an interesting sort of swing of events. The Gamecocks are on upset watch at this moment. That being said, we got a couple of conditions that we've laid out that could put them to upset warning. And I'm going to say them first. I'm going to say them, and then I want you to sort of talk through them and rank them as far as which needs to happen. So first off, Gamecock watch, Tessa gets hot from the three-point line. Gamecock watch, Big Mama Medina, double digits on the boards. Gamecock watch, Joyce scores 20+. Gamecock watch, unknown mystery person contributes 20+. Out of those 4 contributions right there, I'll say them one more time. Tessa gets hot from 3. Big Mama Medina has double digits on the boards. Let's say Big Mama Medina goes double. Okay? Joyce scores 20+, or Mystery Man scores 20+. Looking at those, what do you think are, if you had to rank those in order for us to get to Gamecock warning as far as upset is concerned?
I mean, I don't know, to this point, it's pretty much been set in stone that Medina Okat's probably going to end up with a double-double. So I think that's kind of towards the bottom of a warning.
Okay.
Because it's bound to happen. As well as she's played, I think that's I'm not going to say it's a guarantee. I'm not Charles Barkley, so I'm not going to hit you with that this morning. But I do think it's very likely. I think if Tessa gets hot, that's going near the top. Because if Tournament Tessa's there tomorrow night, that's going to be a problem for AZ Fudd or anybody who's trying to guard her. And I hope that at least 2 to 3 people are wearing who can guard Tessa shirts tomorrow night.
Who could guard Tessa?
That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. But I'm curious, especially the Joyce Edwards one sticks out to me because Joyce has been phenomenal during this tournament. But I think, and we saw it last year when they played UConn, just how quickly she got shut down in the post. And if that becomes an issue, then I think you are going to see a little bit more struggle out of South Carolina. However, that mystery person, and I'm going to bring her back into the conversation, I think that mystery person, I want to say Tania Latz and Raven Johnson because both of them have also had incredible tournaments. And that's not even just been point scoring, but also the defensive play of Raven Johnson has been outstanding. And I'm excited because I'm almost certain she'll probably end up matching up with AZ Fudd a couple different, multiple times tomorrow night. And that's exciting. That's a lot of fun because Raven has been playing lights out defensively. But her best friend, Tania Latson, right there too. And she's had a couple really good games during this tournament as well that I think she could be that mystery person. Agat McKeer could come off the bench and be that mystery person. And if that happens and you have more than one contributor who's putting up a significant amount of points, I think that creates a warning, because those are the types of things, like Tessa gets hot and you get somebody random off of that bench, or even somebody who's starting tomorrow night who decides that they're going to play offensively out of their mind and find ways to beat this UConn team that's not going to be any slouch, then yeah, I would upgrade it to a warning.
Okay. I agree with all of that. As I was looking at my notes, I had Raven and Tanaya and Gotti written down. I didn't say them, but that's the three I had as the mystery person that could possibly provide whatever that extra is. And I guess the great thing throughout this tournament is that we've seen that happen.
Yeah.
Raven has actually been she's been obviously consistent her whole career, but she's been very consistent with the jump shot this year, being able to finish out. And that goes back to what you're talking about with Medina and Joyce. If UConn does like they did last year and try and clog the paint, and that frustrated Joyce last year, but Joyce was a freshman last year. Joyce was a six-man last year.
Right.
She's had a lot more experience. It's going to be really interesting to see how this all works out, because as I stated yesterday, and as I kept talking, I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to the mic, I'm talking to everybody out there, and I'm like, all right, UConn has a better record. I might even grant nationally, I might even say UConn is a better team. I can even go that far, and that's still not that's still, I don't know if that's a bridge I'm even willing to cross, but I will do that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't have any bearing on a one-game scenario.
It's the NCAA tournament.
Right.
It's March Madness. Like, this is what you come to watch, because you know you're going to see two of the best teams in the country go at each other with no, in my opinion, I don't think there is a clear cut. Like, I know South Carolina is favored to lose right now by 6.5.
Okay.
And that line I don't think has changed since yesterday. But what gets me is, like, the amount of people who will say, well, UConn's a better team. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Who's got more heart? Right? At the end of the day, like, yes, the talent gets you very, very far in this tournament. There's no doubt about that. That's why all 4 1 seeds are in the Final Four. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who wants it more. And UConn is certainly impressive. They really are. But I think this whole mantra behind the women's team right now and doing it for Raven, getting one for Raven, like, they have so much on their backs because they want to do it for her, because she's the most loved player, I think, in this team, and certainly by Dawn, and I'm sure by that locker room.
And didn't we say that UConn was not quite as battle-tested as Carolina has been? Like, they haven't, so that, too, they haven't had as many challenges and had to fight back.
There is that aspect where they've been completely dominant all year. They've really only had two. They've only had 2 games. They had one game against Tennessee, which ended up being a blowout, but that was close at halftime. And another game earlier in the year, I think they won. They ended up winning by 10. But they've been mowing people down for good right, because they were very good. National Player of the Year, Sarah Strong, she's awesome. Az Fudd is awesome. We know what Gino does. It is a formidable opponent. But I guess the thing I just talked myself into is if this happens, if a Gamecock warning does happen, it's not going to be David versus Goliath. It's not going to be like this is some sort of miracle. This is not going to be the thing that happens. So we'll continue to have that discussion. We'll come back to talk about that a little bit later. But it's spring football, and we got a football guy in here. And so we're going to come back and talk a little bit about football, because there was one question that I had last year and we never got the answer to, and I want to see if we can get to the bottom of it next year. So we're going to talk a little bit about Mazeo Bennett and where he was. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
We have a new way for you to call the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. Just dial pound 250, and when prompted, punch in the keywords, the game. And that's it. Again, pound 250 with the keywords, the game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215215. That's HIM to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
The reason many of us hate insurance companies is because some of them act like bullies. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been dealing with these creatures my whole career. Whether it's a workers' comp claim, an auto accident, or a nursing home or medical mishap, the playbook is often the same: deny and delay. We became the largest injury firm in America for a reason. We fight the bullies. They know who we are, and I know it makes a difference for our clients. Just go to forthepeople.com and see our results and our verdicts after those bullies gave us their final offer. Hiring the wrong firm can be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. It's easy to get going. Visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer, or call us on your cell at Pound Law, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
Joe Sandifer, Esquire, 11915 Plaza Drive, Suite 301, Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, 29576.
At AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Call today to schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment. Let AAA Heating and Air qualified technicians put your mind at ease with a thorough inspection and cleaning of your heating and cooling system. Join their popular AAA Comfort Club to take advantage of extras like flexible visits, added discounts, and priority scheduling. Visit callAAAtoday.com to schedule an appointment. Tell them Preston on the Game sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Railroad tracks and potholes are a way of life driving in Columbia, South Carolina. The last thing you want to worry about is your tires. At Wetzel's Automotive, we make it simple. From helping you choose the right set to professional installation and alignment, our team handles it all in one stop. Our wide selection of top brand tires means you'll always find the right fit for your vehicle and your budget. Fast, friendly, and right here at home. Visit us at 2017 Augusta Road in West Columbia or online at wetzelsauto.com.
Are you ready for a new Gamecock tee? At Gamecock Traditions, they've got the latest styles and deals that will make you do a double take. Right now, grab 2 tees for just $25. That's right, 2 for $25. Most places charge that for just 1. Want name brands? Champion tees are just 2 for $38. And you can mix or match men's, women's, or kids' styles. Small sizes all the way to triple extra large. Fresh designs, incredible prices. Always the Gamecock Traditions way. Lexington, Sand Hills Village, or online at GamecockTraditions.com. Don't wait, these deals won't last.
When you're looking for an attorney, you don't need to look far for legal support you can trust. I'm Dewana Looper.
And I'm Joe Weidman.
We're not just the voices you hear, we're the faces you'll see if you come in. At Atkins Law, we believe you deserve a team that listens when you're in need. We're small on purpose, local by design, and serve with compassion.
Whether you've been hurt on the job or in a car wreck, recovery comes first. We'll handle the rest.
Remember, who you hire matters, so hire a team that cares. Check us out at hollyatkinslaw.com.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
We have a report of a vehicle fire, I-77 northbound just after Blythewood Road, that it would be exit 27, and the vehicle fire is actually at 28, but that has that section of I-77 closed. So if you're heading towards Charlotte, I-77 northbound, you're going to need to map out an alternate route around Blythewood Road because that is currently closed. And the forecast for today, some clouds, 84, overnight low 62. Tomorrow, might see a pop-up shower in the afternoon, 81 for the high, 84 on Saturday. Right now, though, it's pretty nice. 61 to start your morning on 107.5 The Game.
Early Game. With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Welcome back into the Early Game. Preston Thorne, substitute teacher. WIS is Nick Harvey. Jen Jensen, as always.
Are we gonna try to pull some things on him since he's a substitute teacher? Like, are there some pranks? Are we gonna?
April Fool's was yesterday.
That's true.
This is true, but sometimes students will do things.
And as I warned everybody, just take anything you saw yesterday on social media with a grain of salt, because they were out for the hunt. And I almost got one time. Even me, who was up here preaching and prophesizing and all that, I almost got one time.
Me too, because there was someone who I thought would not do that, and they did. And I was like, and I got really upset about their post. Like, that's going to happen? And then, yeah, just kidding. And I saw comments.
I almost got yesterday. But my thing yesterday was, you can allow yourself to get got. Just don't be
social.
Anything.
No, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. Don't share it, because when you share it, now it's proof that you're an idiot. You don't want to let anybody know, right?
It's out there forever.
As my mother
I was
would
a
say,
moron.
as long as you don't say anything, nobody knows. So you just could be quiet. But listen, last year was disappointing on a lot of levels. There was a lot of failure all around. I've been on record saying that the offense, we watched maybe 3 games together last year, at least two, and needless to say, neither one of them were very fun to watch. The Texas A&M game was fun for a half.
It was fun for the first half.
It was fun for a half. But I think one of the biggest questions, besides why can't we block, besides is that another sack, besides did the center just jump off sides? There were a lot of questions to ask.
I was waiting on that one.
There were a lot of questions to ask. But the bigger question for me was, where is Mazeo Bennett? And it was sort of like a mystery as far as what happened between Mazeo's freshman year and Mazeo's sophomore year. And there was a big drop-off in his numbers. Looking at this, his freshman year, he caught 30 passes, 300-plus yards. Sophomore year, 10 catches. That's a 20-catch difference. Now, obviously, the offense was different. We get that. But a 20-catch difference, last year he had 10 catches for 62 yards. 6.2 yards per catch. Compared to somebody who led the league and led the team in catches in the receiver corps last year as a freshman. So there was promise there. We thought all these great things were going to happen, and it never materialized last year. And there were a lot of questions to be asked about that. This is one of the big things we have to see moving forward. Did you have any insight into what was going on last year?
Not really. I mean, like, it shocked me so much, because it felt like I think behind the scenes, you're never fully going to know the story, but like the first impression for me is always going to be, okay, well, did he regress during the offseason? Did he come out into fall ball and just not act like he really wanted to be there? Was there a lack of care? Was there a lack of development? There's so many questions, because you look at, another freshman who had a really good first season, Donovan Murph, who, in all honesty, at certain times looked like he was running the same kind of route tree that Mazeo Bennett made look so successful in 2024. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, it was, and I think it's something that, because when we were doing the college pick'ems every week, and I was coming in on Thursdays, like it just felt like a recurring topic where it's like, okay, we saw Nick Harbor go deep. They connected on a deep ball. We saw these things, but it wasn't enough. And hey, by the way, Mazeo Bennett, did we see him Saturday? Like, even with those 10 receptions, I couldn't tell you what one of those receptions was from any of the games last season. I don't remember any of them. And that sticks out like a sore thumb, because he won over a lot of Gamecock fans his freshman year and was extremely impressive to watch on the football field. And then we go to this, I don't know, it's just a totally different situation this year.
Well, something changed from last year. Jen, this is going to be cut 12 from yesterday. Let's listen to Shane talk about Mazeo Bennett. Maybe he can give us some insight to what changed between this year and last year and the first year.
Yeah, and I would say it would be even before the end of the season, the conversations that I had with Mazio during the season last year, you know, Mazio's a dog. And that's a compliment when you say that. Like, he is a dog, and he is competitive, and he loves to play the game of football. He loves Carolina. He loves to compete. And it was hard for him last year because he had all those qualities, but for whatever reason, he wasn't getting the opportunity as much as he wanted to, probably on Saturdays. And, you know, he had some questions and concerns. So we had those conversations, me, him, Mike, throughout the season. And then at the end of the year, you know, I got tons of respect for him because obviously at the end of the year, you know, you're Mr. Everything as a freshman. The second year doesn't go the way you want it to. It's easy to just say, I'm going to pick up my ball and go somewhere else because, you know, y'all don't believe in me, but that wasn't the case at all. It was, you know, this is where I want to be, and let's get back to work. And you know, that's what I love about him is you know what you're going to get with Mazio day in, day out. And our conversations were, here's what we want to see more of. Here's why maybe it didn't go the way you wanted it to go in 25. We've got to be better as coaches. Here's some things you've got to be better at as a player. And let's get ready to attack this thing in 2026. And he's been awesome. He's been very, I think Mike talked about it yesterday, he's been very consistent, very steady throughout the spring. It's his third year in the program, but in my mind, he's very much a leader on this team and has the respect of his teammates. And he just needs to continue to work and continue to get better. And he will. And there's great competition in that room. Talked about it in our team meeting this morning with our players. And I think I've mentioned it to y'all, but, you know, with everyone that has come back at that receiver position, all those freshmen that came in a year ago.
So Shane, here's the first thing I wrote down. Mazio's a dog. My question was he in the dog house last year? And that is my big question. And that goes counter to everything that we think we know about Mazio as far as being all the reasons we know why players eventually end up in the doghouse. Mazio doesn't seem to have any of those qualities. I want to go to this one, Jen, really quickly to give Mazio a chance to rebuttal. This is from today's cut list. This is number 13, and this is Mazio. This is going to be from today's cut list, and this is going to be Mazio talking about why he considered to stay at South Carolina. Because, again, what we kind of know about Mazio, he doesn't really strike us as the guy who would get himself into the doghouse. That hasn't been who he is. And so when Shane kind of beats around that, and then 2 days ago, Coach Fury was he kept saying, like, the situation with Mazio, the situation. I have a theory, which is I'll not founded in any type of thing, but I'm going to give it anyway because it's 6:20 in the morning, so we'll do it. But let's listen to Mazio on why he came back to South Carolina.
I decided to stay here because I came here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I could have went anywhere in the country, but this is the place where I'm meant to be. And when you look back through my recruiting process, I came here because I wanted to make this school better. And I feel like when we first came here in 2024, in that year, we had a great year. We turned the whole projective of this program around, and I felt like I can't leave the way that we lost last year. I can't let that be the last taste in my mouth from this place. And I love this place, and I want to be at this place, and that's my passion for this place.
I mean, I respect his answer. I respect it a lot. And I think about, you know, what you were just saying about did he get himself into the doghouse? Because Shane also mentioned, and I can't remember if it was yesterday on the postgame or if it was during his press conference earlier this week, but he talked about the culture in the locker room changing and how last year, and I'm not saying this was Mazio, I'm just simply throwing this out there because it seems like it could tie to the situation. There wasn't a lot of accountability in the locker room, and guys were just kind of doing their own thing. There wasn't like a set leader who was keeping people in check. Now Shane has said that he's got some of these older guys coming to him and saying, hey, this is happening. I want to address it. Are you okay with us addressing it this way if we handle it? And that's like, if it wasn't there last year, it makes me wonder if just a lot of personality got into that locker room and a lot of guys were thinking for themselves and not for everybody. And again, I am in no way saying that was Mazio. I'm just saying, from Mike Furry saying the situation. He
kept saying the situation. I was like, what is that?
It just strikes me as like, you know, maybe there were some disagreements with him and the coaching staff. You don't know.
And that's my theory. I wonder if the situation is no longer the offensive coordinator. because that can happen from time to time.
I don't disagree.
And I just wonder what that situation is. But we have a new offensive coordinator, which means we have new offense, and the Gamecocks had their first scrimmage of the spring. When we come back, we'll listen to Shane evaluate the scrimmage. This is the early game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
If the Gamecocks hit a grand slam, you can win cash. It's the Crescent Construction Grand Slam Giveaway. If the Gamecocks don't hit a grand slam, the pot goes up $25 a game. Just go to 1075thegame.com to register.
Sponsored by Lowe's. Pros, if something runs out on the job, order it on the Lowe's app. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free same-day delivery on eligible orders over $25. Order by 2 p.m. and get eligible in-stock items delivered to your job site by 8 p.m. See terms at Lowe's.com/shipping terms, subject to change.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Learning to drive, getting married, the birth of your children. These are the life-changing events you remember your whole life. I'm Jason Reynolds. A serious injury changes your life too, in a very different way.
I'm Stephen Samuels. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we get you. We can't erase the injury or change the past, but we can get you through the pain and anxiety and help you on to a brighter future.
We get South Carolina because we're true South Carolina. Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. The spring is here. Dust, pollen, spring cleaning, all those important things. But have you even thought about the air quality inside your home? How are those air ducts holding up? Well, AAA Heating and Air is ready to help you. Visit them on the website. Call AAAtoday.com. Again, that's call AAAtoday.com. Call AAA Heating and Air and tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Hey, this is Terry Ford. Got a little story time for you. If you're a business or property owner and you're needing to deter any unwanted cars from parking in your parking lots, definitely call Schroeder's Towing. They'll provide signage for your business completely free of charge. Anytime a vehicle is parked in your lot that shouldn't be, Schroeder's Towing will be there to make sure your lot stays open for your employees, customers, and tenants. Trust me, I know firsthand what happens when you ignore Schroeder's Towing signage. Just go online at schroederstowing.net.
Just dial pound 250 and use the keyword tow truck.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Do you have gold you don't need? Are you looking to get cash? At Traditions Fine Jewelers, it only takes a few minutes for them to check, but you'll be amazed at what cash it brings. Did you know if you had gold the size and weight of a quarter, you would generate $177 in 10 karat or $248 in 14 karat? Want to trade your gold? The same quarter gold would generate $303 in 10 karat or $425 in 14 karat. Traditions Fine Jewelers, Sunset Boulevard in Lexington or at the Village at Sandhills. Always giving you more for your gold.
Need a roof? Trust Crescent Construction. With over 20,000 roofs installed and counting, they've got the experience you need. They specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, and general contracting. Visit CrescentCarolina.com today for free estimates and free inspections. That's right, no cost, no commitment. Crescent Construction, quality you can count on. For all your roofing and construction needs, visit CrescentCarolina.com now.
Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
One significant road stoppage we have right now, I-77 northbound, just after Blythewood Road. That is exit 27. That is currently closed due to a vehicle fire up the road. So you will need to map out an alternate route by getting off there at exit 27 on I-77 northbound. Your forecast looking pretty darn nice for the next several days. 84 today, 81 tomorrow. Just a couple pop-up showers are possible in the afternoon. And then Saturday and Sunday, looking for highs of 84 and 80. Right now, though, very nice. Kind of mild, 61 on 107.5 The Game.
The early game starts with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Welcome back into the early game. Preston Thorne, substitute teacher Nick, Jen Jensen. We're in here. We started a conversation about Gamecock spring football. Last segment, we talked about Mazio Bennett, kind of the sophomore slump that he went through. And we heard from Mazio, and he got a chance to talk about why he came back. And I'll probably play that again a little bit later because I did think that was very, very interesting. But as the spring progresses, spring is about development. Spring is about improvement. And especially this spring, with a new offensive coordinator, with a new system in place, this is going to be a big-time spring for seeing the trajectory of the team. In your experience, when you have a putting in an offensive system and install, how tedious is that process?
It's one of the most tedious things that I think I've ever done, especially when because when you're changing a whole playbook. I mean, I think I went through 3 different offenses while I was in high school playing football. And I mean, it's the simple, like, there were days where we would literally just do fundamentals for an hour, an individual. We wouldn't even walk through plays. We would just sit there. Like, there were days, our coach, and that's just, I think it was just days when he decided to choose violence. He'd come out and be like, all right, everybody in a 3-point stance. And then we'd all get in a 3-point stance, and we wouldn't move. And he'd just be like, y'all are going to get them legs ready.
Sounds like Lou Holtz.
And it was, and it just, that's what we would do. And it was like, what are we learning? Nothing.
Yeah. You don't think you're learning. It's like Karate Kid. It's like, why am I?
In the moment.
It's like, Huckleberry Finn, why am I painting this fence? There's a reason why.
But it is, I mean, and especially, like, spring is so crucial for a new offensive coordinator to install that offense. Because you got to make sure these guys understand the system, because by the time fall ball gets rolling, you've got all these summer OTAs that you'll go through, and there will probably be some mixed-in install here and there. But OTAs are difficult because coaches can't be on the field for a certain amount of time. Like, they can only be out there for so long, then they got to leave. So you're not really getting as much of an in-depth install other than in meetings, and that doesn't always translate to the field when you got guys who are sitting in a meeting and then they go out to an OTA and you're expecting them to run these things and they don't know what's going on.
I mean, and again, as much leadership as you can have, it's still the summertime.
Right.
It's like, we out here, but
These dudes have been through workouts in the morning, and they didn't want to do that.
It's a lot.
It's
the work you get is great, but it's definitely not equivalent to what happens in the spring. So they had their first scrimmage over the weekend, and the scrimmage is where you kind of get a chance to put everything together. You've been drilling. You probably have done some 7-on-7 stuff. Maybe you've done inside run. You've done team things, but you haven't moved the ball with all of the rules and all of that stuff. And so here is Shane. Let's be clip 15 from yesterday, Jen. Here's Shane talking about the positives and negatives of a spring scrimmage.
I would say effort to the ball, particularly, going back, that was the point of the conversation this morning, was with the receivers and the team, but we've got to be better when I'm a receiver and I'm away from the ball. my effort to the ball, my perimeter blocking, things like that. Not just the receivers, but, a couple examples that I pointed out where we've got to be better away from the ball, straining. So we've got to be better, not just there, but, everybody and every coach in America is saying this, just finishing plays, the effort to the ball. We hadn't put in red zone, so to speak, but football is football. You're still calling the same plays for the most part when you get down there. And we had a couple long drives on offense. We had a 15-play drive and we had a 12-play drive that, in a game, I probably would have kicked the field goal when fourth down came up, but I wanted to see if we could get a touchdown, and credit to the defense. They gave up a 12-play drive and a 15-play drive, but they were able to get a stop at the end and hold the offense to 0 points on consecutive drives. Whereas from an offensive standpoint, we're down there in the red zone. We got to go finish that for touchdowns. But those are a couple things that stand out, but a lot of good. The way we ran the ball, the way we, young guys showed up. There weren't a ton of mistakes from an offensive and defensive standpoint mentally. So I feel like, John, we're farther along than what we were after, what was today, 10 practices last year. Just the protection on offense, the protecting the ball, the way we're operating. I like where we are offensively, and it's been great for our defense. And then, special teams wise too, I think we're doing some really good things with the effort and with Coach Smiley and what he's doing too.
Give me your biggest takeaway from what Shane said.
The biggest thing that for me came at the end, and it was how well the offense is protecting the ball, because he also said it in his press conference that they only had one turnover throughout that entire scrimmage. The thing that sticks out to me that I don't like is South Carolina was not a good red zone offense last year. Mm-hmm. They get there, they could drive the ball all the way downfield and then run into issues as soon as they got close to the red zone, or when they were in the red zone, they couldn't finish. I know they haven't done a full install of what the red zone offense is truly going to look like and what kind of plays they're going to want to call down there, but at the same time, it's Kendall Briles. He's been doing this a long time. I'm sure he had plays that he knew he wanted to run in the red zone, that whether or not they've installed them, it's the same plays they're running during practice. And to hear that the defense got the last 2 drives of that game, or of the scrimmage on Saturday, and didn't give up any points, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you would like to hear, hey, if they're going for it on fourth down, they got a pretty good chance. They got away with it a couple times against a really good defense.
And here's the duality of in-game scrimmage, inter-team scrimmage, because you hear that and you say that's disappointing. Defensive guy, hear that, I'm like, oh, they bowed up.
Right. Right.
They bowed up.
Yeah.
That's what they did. They bend but don't break. That's what that's the things you want to do. So inherently what's going to happen is, as one side does well, the other side has some things to work on. You'll hear that. I thought the interesting thing about this was the idea of effort to the ball, because as a young football player, that's not something that you really think about. You get caught, end up watching a lot of football because at lower levels, and it happens at every level, but if the play's not involving me, I might just be watching, or I might be going like 65% or whatever the case is, and you don't realize the actual amount of speed that you need to play with even when the play is going away from you, or how important the play is. And that's just stuff that you have to learn when you get to higher levels of footballs. And I would imagine, especially in this offense, where everything is pace and space and you got to be moving quick, you have to be playing with a little bit more urgency when the ball's going that way. And so that's something that they're going to have to end up working on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think, at the same time, though, like, what is it? Gang tackling is what they preach. And I feel like last year that was something we didn't see a ton of. There was a lot of solo tackles or guys throwing shoulders into somebody and not 11 hats to the ball, where a coach, or at least when I played in high school, like, coaches were not happy when there wasn't, all 11 guys running to the football. And there were days where they would literally not blow a whistle until all 11 people touched the guy with the football.
Yeah, I've been part of those scenarios. Yeah. I had a coach who had a very infamous expression at 6:40. I don't think the FCC, are you awake? I can't say what he would say, but I'll say it off air to the crew. But it was essentially, hey, everybody's getting to the ball. That was his ultimate point that he would get to. So again, you're probably not going to get a whole bunch of intel from the first scrimmage, but you do hear some things that are happening as far as where the team is progressing and how they're moving forward. And after 10 practices, you're probably getting an idea of some people are starting to separate and some people are starting to take their spots as far as where they're going to be on the depth charts. But charts are a big thing moving forward because there's a big baseball series this weekend. A pretty good team is coming to town. Who are we going to throw out on the mound? That'll be our discussion coming up next.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Go to 1075thegame.com and check out our sweet deals, like $50 worth of great eats from Grill Marks for just $25 and a 6-month membership to the YMCA for half price. It's all at 1075thegame.com.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Great news, Jayhawks fans. Bill Self is back for at least one more year. He announced on Twitter that he is planning to return. There were rumors of him retiring. I never truly bought into that. I really want Bill Self to have a retirement tour, Coach K style. Embrace it. Pardon me for wanting to celebrate excellence, but if you win multiple championships at a blue blood school, I feel like you should get some sort of goodbye wave as you're walking out the door. I'm Denton Dad.
You know that Chick-fil-A sells more than chicken, right?
Hello, my name is Jaleesa, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit is how it's all of my favorite breakfast items in one good bite. That fluffy egg, that melty cheese with that perfectly grilled sausage. It just gives you that warmth, that comfort food that you love. It is the best possible option for a classic breakfast.
Comfort is calling. Order a Chick-fil-A sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit with Simply Orange Juice on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-608-0955. 800-608-0955. 800-608-0955.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EARN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code EARN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code EARN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The Early Game. With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 1075 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Tonight at Founders, Alex Valentin will take the mound to start tonight against the #2 team in the nation coming into town, ready to rock. the rare Thursday through Saturday series. You have a great team coming into town. Obviously, if you're listening to the show at 650, you're probably pretty aware of how our season has gone this year. Spoiler alert, not great. Not great. That being said, you always preach that there's an opportunity. Now, we've been kind of having this discussion. The series is ahead. There's 2 more games, but let's just start with tonight. Let's start with Alex Valentin on the mound. You were a little bit surprised by that decision. Why?
Because he's been mostly a middle relief pitcher this season. We were talking about it during the break. He's thrown his season high for innings pitched is 3.2. So you're talking about a guy who, for the most part, has come in as a middle reliever, has good outings. Don't get me wrong. He's gotten himself into trouble a couple times. I mean, I know I think it was the Arkansas series. He came in as the reliever on Saturday and threw some great innings and then gave up a couple bats. But still, South Carolina got the opportunity to win that game and could have taken the series had it not been for an errant throw. He's not a bad pitcher. He's got a lot of spunk and a lot of emotion, and it is evident. It's funny, though, because, like, you know, a lot of people he caught a lot of people's attention early in the season because he does that little wiggle right before he throws a pitch. You can tell when he's comfortable on the mound versus when he's trying to rein it in and lock in, because the wiggle disappears when he gets into a tough situation. And I noticed that against Arkansas a couple weekends ago. We were watching on TV, and I was like, he's not wiggling anymore. He stopped. He's got a couple runners on base, and all of a sudden he's not that emotion's not there. And I think he's a guy that, like, you want him to play with emotion, but you don't want it to get too far out of hand, especially if he's going to take the mound as the starter tonight. He threw 1 inning against Wofford on Tuesday. Not a bad outing whatsoever. But you're now throwing this guy into a starting role on the first game of a three-game set against the number 2 team in the country on Murderer's Row that is the SEC in baseball right now. And it's concerning.
Texas is obviously very good. Well, Monty had some comments on both of those things that you talked about. Let's go with clip number 10, talking about him playing with emotion, because I think this is interesting to see how that's juxtaposed against you being a starting pitcher.
Well, I've had players, look, I haven't had an Alex Valentin, but I've had plenty of players that pitch with emotion and energy and intensity. And I was told a story a long time ago about what Cus D'Amato used to tell Mike Tyson, and I told Alex Valentin this story. Fire is one of the most valuable resources we have in the world. It can cook your food and it can heat your house. But if you don't control the fire in your house, it'll burn your house down. And I think that's really the way that I describe intensity. And intensity as an athlete is your greatest tool as long as you can control it. It's just like fire in a home. It can do a lot of great things for you, but you got to be able to control it. And that was a conversation that I had with Alex. We want him to use his emotion to his benefit and not against him. So he can be poised, composed, pitch one pitch at a time. And look, if he makes a big pitch in a big moment, I'm okay with him celebrating. There's nothing wrong with celebrating with your teammates when you have success. I want them to celebrate. Heck, these kids work really, really hard. When they do something good, you want them to be able to show it. At least that's the way I see it. So I'm not the, been here and done it before type coach. I don't believe in that. So I want him to be him, but I also want him to control his emotions so that he can pitch to the best of his capabilities.
He'll have an opportunity to test that tonight because, again, it's a formidable opponent. Texas is obviously really good, and it's an honor and an opportunity to get the ball against them, to have the confidence in your coaching staff, the staff having the confidence in you, for you to be able to do that. Monty, that is a story. I've heard very similar expressions of that story, such as electricity can cook for a man or it can cook a man, right? So you have to get into this. And we talk about this idea of, like, controlling your emotions, being emotions, especially when we talk about football, but sports in general, life largely, right? You're going to have emotions, but how are you able to control those things and keep those things in check, and especially help them be positive influences for you and not negative influences? So we'll see how this works with Alex Valentin taking the mound tonight. We'll continue to look. We'll have some more conversation as we move forward. But as we move towards the 7 o'clock hour, this is normally when Elijah likes to get onto his basketball stuff when we start talking about floppy action and screens and all this type of stuff. But I got a football guy in the building.
Are we calling this the Meat Package special episode?
The Meat Package special episode. Jen, that's going to be the clip for social. The Meat Package. When we get back, we will have discussions. We will kind of have some conversation because everybody's curious. Everybody wants to know what's going on with the offensive line, and everybody wants to have this conversation. So when we come back, if you coming back looking for floppy actions and down screens and elevator screens, this is not the place for you. 7 o'clock hour starts off with the Meat Package.
Trenches.
Trench talk on the rise. Preston Throw and Nick Harvey Jen. This is the early game. 7 o'clock hour. When we come back, it's line talk.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Sponsored by SC Education Lottery. The South Carolina Education Lottery encourages all of their players to learn about your play before you pay. To learn how the odds work, common lottery myths, and the signs of problem gambling, check out sceducationlottery.com/betteryou. Playing the lottery for fun is a win for education.
Powered by Integrated Media, the Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass, shepherdsglass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, the Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Visit CordellCordell.com.
1201 Main Street, Columbia.
Average Amy's. Our coffee has caffeine and our muffins are cooked.
You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Cumulus Digital outperforms industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Van City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon, Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
I-77 northbound after Blythewood Road. They have opened up the highway, but the right lane is blocked. So you're going to be staying left due to a vehicle fire. So again, that's I-77 northbound after Blythewood Road. Things kind of snarled in that area, but traffic is starting to move. You just need to stay left. 84 for the high today, 81 tomorrow with maybe a couple pop-up showers later in the day, and then 84 for Saturday. Right now, it's pretty decent, 61 on 107.5 The Game.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell.
Let's get it.
And Jen Jensen. On the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.
Welcome back into the Early Game. It's Preston Thorne, Nick Harvey, Jen Jensen. Elijah is starting his travels off to Phoenix. We wish him Godspeed.
Indeed we do, yeah. Is he on a plane now?
I think his flight was like about, I think he had to be in Charlotte like around 11 or something today.
And then, you have to, obviously, if you're traveling, you have to add in extra time because of our situation with the TSA. So shout out to the TSA folks. Keep working. Hopefully that money's coming to you soon. You know what I'm saying?
Because we need you and we appreciate you.
Yeah, we need you and we appreciate you. So it's a tough spot for those folks to be in. But hopefully Elijah gets out everything squared. And he will be out in Phoenix tomorrow. Why is he out in Phoenix, you ask? Obviously, duh. Because we are on our sixth.
Because he has a friend that lives a mile away from the arena?
This is true. He has a friend that lives a mile away from the arena, and they've been planning this trip for 3 years, he said.
Wow.
When the Final Four schedule came out, the host sites were coming out, his friend was out in Phoenix. And I guess this is a testament to how great Dawn's program is, because they were like, hey, there's not even an outside possibility. There's a strong possibility that I could be out in Phoenix for work on these dates. And so he said his friend has become a default Gamecock fan for the last year or so because he's been cheering and wanting to see his bud out there. And it's all working out. Obviously, Dawn delivered on the promise.
Yes, she did. And, Elijah also has a friend that he stayed with in Nashville. And then I think somewhere else where there's been a tournament. I said, dude, have you been like strategically placing friends? Because pretty much anywhere he goes, I guess he's an affable guy. Everybody likes him, and come stay with us.
He knows people in nice places.
Yes, he does.
He does. Those are good spots to have.
Well connected.
And Phoenix is an awesome town. If you've never been out there, it's really, really, really cool. Really, really cool town. Hot and very different looking when you get off the plane.
Sparse, mountainous, right?
Yeah, it's just very. You feel like you literally in another country.
I was out there a couple summers ago, and I learned that you can sweat and not see this. Like, I felt like I was sweating,
sir.
And
I learned the same lesson.
That dry heat. I remember my aunt lives out there, and I remembered like on the way we were going to help her move some stuff out of the storage unit, whatever it was. And I was like, oh, that's nothing compared to the South Carolina summers. It's humid on top of the 98-degree days at real feel of 110. No, it's actually 110 out there. That's the true temperature, and it's just dry, and that's it.
Okay.
And I was sweating, but I couldn't see any of the sweat coming off of my body.
Yeah, because unlike here where the sweat stays on you because you're just living in a sauna.
Right.
Out there it's a dry sauna, right? And then, so, I learned the same lesson. I was out there. Call myself, let's go out in nature and hike, and it's like it was beautiful.
It is.
I'm like, I'm not sweating. This is awesome. Well, that chart that they have in the locker room, like, are you being a good teammate?
Are you a champion?
I was not being a teammate as far as the urine test was concerned. I was like, oh man, I am dehydrated. So you don't know when you're sweating out there. So shout out to the women out in Phoenix. Fortunately, they will be playing inside, so they don't have to deal. They don't have to deal with that.
And they have air conditioning inside.
Yes, they have air conditioning. They're not playing Iowa, so they don't have to. They don't have to worry about air conditioning in that situation. But while I have an offensive lineman in here, we're gonna do some trench talk. So if this is what you're in for, buckle up, because we're gonna go kind of rapid fire here. We got a couple of things that have happened since really the last time I talked to you, and I don't think we've really had a lot of conversation since spring. I saw you once, but that was sort of in passing. Let's first start off with the drills. The Coach Clemens drill that went viral. What was your take on it, and what was your takeaway?
So actually, I think one of the days that I filled in, Elijah and I got into this a little bit. And what I told him, I think, it obviously, I think it caught more steam than anybody thought it was going to. Like, I remember Clements got up to the podium, what was it, last week, I think, and somebody asked him, and he was like, I didn't know that was going to happen. But what I loved about that, though, is like, I don't know. I mean, I understood it. I agreed with the drill. It's an inside zone scheme. You're teaching these guys how to get to second level progression. So you're taking your first steps. I've got nothing here. What's next? Where's my next point of attack? It's, for me, simple. But you got NFL guys who were like, this isn't doing anything for them. They're not going to get any. Come on, man. Like, it's college football. It's a new coach and a new unit. He's going to teach them the fundamentals that he wants them to know. And guess what? The proof is in the pudding, because he backed it up and put a post on Twitter of a game scenario where one of his players at a former stop takes the perfect two-step progression in a run-blocking scheme and then climbs to the second level, gets a perfect wedge on a linebacker, and opens up a hole for a 7-yard or more gain. It translates.
Shout out to the GA that cut that up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was 100% a student assistant who cut that up for him, and he went back and said, yeah, it was probably from 2023, this game, this play. Because that's just the mind of an offensive line coach. Those dudes have a deep cut of memories of things that they know worked well, and they know that they have their proof, and they're not going to go out on Twitter or it's social media in general and flame somebody. But like, my favorite thing is he just posted it. I think he might have had a small comment, but it wasn't directed at anybody. It was just him basically saying, you want to see why this works?
Yeah.
And I liked it because, again, you're not, in the first day of spring practice, you're not focused on installing the entire playbook. You're focused on making sure that these guys are prepared, that you have the right people in place to be successful down the road when you start installing, and half of these plays are inside zone schemes where you want them to take that two-step set and then climb to the second level.
Yeah, and my thing with that is I trust two people on. There's a lot of offensive line folks, and you can get deep down rabbit holes as far as offensive line dudes. I trust Charles Bentley. I trust Cole Kublik.
Yes.
And both of them had the same kind of reaction. They both were like, yeah, I don't know. Seems like it could work.
Yeah.
And that was a fine reaction. Obviously, it wasn't inflammatory. It wasn't flaming them, and it wasn't nobody wants a moderate. Yeah. Seems like it could work. Like two experts, that's what they had to say about it. I just thought that was really interesting how that sort of caught fire. I know Jack didn't prepare for his mentions to be in shambles like that. But so that was one thing. And I was thinking, like, when I played for Charlie Strong, we would spend a period, 5 to 7 minutes of a period, especially in the spring, of just stepping right over a line, stepping left over a line.
First step.
Stepping right, stepping left. I mean, for unlimited amounts of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I imagine somebody could have saw that clip and be like, what are they doing? That is. So, yeah, I get that. That moves forward. That being said, tempo for offensive linemen. Good, bad, ugly.
In between. I guess I don't want to call it bad because, I mean, for the most part, really, you do have, these guys are in good shape. They're college athletes at the end of the day. But, like, if you're asking me in high school, somebody who really didn't understand how important the weight room was, how important conditioning was until I got to college, unfortunately. But, like, I'll never forget running that hurry-up offense, and by the end of it, you're huffing and puffing because you weren't ready for it. And I think, like, at the end of the day, tempo is tempo, and guys aren't necessarily, especially offensive linemen, and this might just be me speaking and people can disagree, but there is such a thing called a lineman jog. And no matter what kind of offense you're running, those dudes are going to be lineman jogging wherever they're going. They might bust out a sprint if there's 30 seconds on the clock or something like that, but when you're running a tempo offense, they're not sprinting to the line of scrimmage. I can promise you, I can assure you.
A lineman jog, I've also heard it referred to as the fat man trot.
Yeah.
Fat man trot, lineman jog. Everybody develops one. I think it's once you probably get over like 260-ish, you start to develop a trot where everybody knows, hey, they're not running full speed, but they're giving us what they got. It's just recognized amongst everybody like, hey, man, you just gotta pick them up and put them down a little bit.
I had mine down to a science. And we had a guy on our team that we all used to mock his run because his, like, whole body move back and forth. He really looked like he was putting in so much effort, but he was like probably getting a foot an inch off the ground, shuffling
you
basically.
Just got to get him off the ground just a little bit.
Just got to make it look.
Let the coach know that you're moving. I'm trying, coach. I'm trying. I'm 300 pounds. I'm trying.
It was that situation until he said, don't be last. And then that's when you see all the fat dudes running because you don't want to be last because you know that you're going to touch the scoreboard and come back if you were the last one there. So, no, but it's interesting. I mean, with tempo, like, it works when you have the right tools. And I think that's something that we've seen in this portal cycle from Kendall Briles and the South Carolina offensive coaching staff. They're getting guys that they want. And for instance, I think about Neff, this guy who just committed from Ireland. Dude runs a 4.88 40. You want to talk about a tempo offense? Once they get him ingrained into his new position and they teach him how to play it, you got a perfect tempo tackle when he figures out the position.
You know, and as you were talking about that, I think tempo is probably a mentality just like physicality
100%.
is, right?
Yep.
Because if we take on this identity of we're the offensive line that doesn't get tired, we're the guys who run to the ball, we're the guys who are going to play 60 plays, we're going to outwork you, we're going to be here. It's a different type of physicality.
Right.
One that, speaking as a defensive lineman, I don't want to see because I don't want to play another play. I'm tired just like you are. I weigh 300 just like you are. You do, except – and here's kind of where I think tempo benefits the offense because you know where you're going.
Right.
Now I'm kind of have to react to you, and now it's two of you, and you're going on two.
Quickly.
I'm going to jump off sides because I'm tired.
Yeah.
Right? All of these things are going to happen. So I do think there's a benefit to that. You brought up Neff, and I wanted to get to this. How difficult is it going to be to teach somebody to play football from zero?
With a guy who played rugby, you know he's probably got pretty solid footwork with the way that they move up and down. I think they call it a pitch.
How many times are you going to make that mistake? I'm going to do an Irish accent. Not going to do it.
The thought was there, and the hesitation caught up to you.
I pump faked it. I was like, don't do it.
No, it is interesting because I would imagine he's got good feet. He's fast, right? The tackle position, in my opinion, is a harder position to learn because there's so much technique involved.
That was my next question. Why is playing tackle so tough?
Right, and if that's what they're going to stick with him doing, I think once he learns the fundamentals, because again, like I mentioned, we were talking about this earlier, like there's probably going to be a couple days where he's just sitting in a 3-point stance, or he's sitting in a 2-point stance with that leg cocked back, getting comfortable because it's something that he hasn't had to do before. Luckily, with rugby, you got scrums and stuff like that where these guys are starting halfway bent over, locked in, arm in arm, and he's probably got a good base. But with the tackle position, especially if they stick with that going into the fall, it's so difficult because, again, it's such a technique-played position.
I made the argument yesterday that behind quarterback is the most technical spot on the field.
I would agree with you because, again, honestly,
two linemen chopping it up.
You have. I mean, at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10 in a pass protection, guard and center may end up getting a good double team because if it's a 4-man front, you got the guard taking on his man, the center's going to help out the closest one to him. Those tackles are alone with the defensive ends. They have to be quick. They have to get a good kick set, and that's what I'm curious to learn about his footwork is how good is his kick set going to be because he's a large human being. He's got to have long legs. You know he does. But how quickly can he move those legs? Because you're going to have the edge position has changed so much, and there's dudes who are, 245, 6'4", whatever it is, but they're not bigger more than they are fast and super athletic. And if you don't get a good first step in a pass set, especially, you're going to get beat underneath every single time on the outside. I mean, that's just how the position works, which is why, again, I just think it's so difficult not only to learn the tackle position, but to figure out what technique works the best for you. Because at the end of the day, there's some guys who will want to take a 1-step and attack versus the guys who take an 8-step kickback before they even make contact with the defensive lineman. So it is such a high IQ position to try to outsmart a defensive
Well, you just said high IQ because you're talking about these dudes being these physical freaks and they can come off the edge and they're fast and speed. But, they might throw a twist in here.
Right.
And, there might be another guy coming off the edge. And, you have to count who you're responsible for. All of these different things that are happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's also, though, why it's so important to have a good center, because especially with somebody who may not be as experienced, let's say he does get a few starting reps against, they bring in a D2 team or something like that to open the season, whatever, and he gets some action during those games. What sticks out to me is how well the communication is going to be up front in those early games, and that goes for the offensive line as a whole. I think last year we saw it a lot. A lack of communication all over the place.
Again, your center jumps off sides several times.
False start penalties. So
if nothing drove Nick crazy last year, it was that.
I will die on that hill. There's no world, no way should a center be getting false start penalties. I'll stand by that.
Tough spot for Nick. But speaking of tough spots, for our early morning meeting, have you had a bad day? Well, maybe not as bad as one in Major League Baseball umpire. When we come back, we will have a bad day together. This is the early game.
100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Tax issues bothering you, weighing you down, causing you a very uncomfortable month this past month or so? Well, there is a solution. I'm not good at giving a lot of solutions or life advice, but I do have one that always works when it comes to getting out of that pesky IRS maze. It's because I have friends over at the Ecton Law Firm. John Ecton and his team at the Ecton Law Firm are here for you. 803-771-9800. That's the number to call to set up that free consultation. And in that free consultation, you'll talk to John and his team at the Ecton Law Firm, who has been specializing in getting folks out of that IRS maze, whether it's personal income tax issues, business tax issues, whatever it is you're dealing with, they've worked with similar issues before. They have worked in similar scenarios that can help get you out of the same mess that's gotten plenty of people stressed over the years in the great state of South Carolina. 803-771-9800, or you can always get more information and visit them online at ectonlawfirm.com. That's ECTONlawfirm.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Darius Rucker is coming home to Columbia. The country music superstar and longtime Gamecock supporter will be joined by Lauren Elena to headline the Garnet and Black Spring Fest on Saturday, April 11th at Colonial Life Arena. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Come out early for the free pre-concert block party, featuring a meet and greet with football student athletes, food, games for kids, and more. For more information on the Garnet and Black Spring Fest, visit GamecocksOnline.com.
Don't you love being treated special when you shop and saving money? That just makes it even better. At Gamecock Traditions, they've got more ways to save on all your Gamecock gear. Sign up for their emails and get the news and deals first. Show your Gamecock Club card, your Alumni Association card, or your faculty ID and score a discount on Gamecock merchandise. Military, you save. Is it your birthday? You save. And don't forget their loyalty program. Earn cash back on every purchase and it never expires. That's the Gamecock Traditions way. Lexington, Sand Hills Village, or online at GamecockTraditions.com.
Feeling lucky?
Bingo!
After that long, cold winter, your yard probably isn't. Faded pine straw and washed out mulch? Well, spring is here, and it's time to freshen things up. At Lucky's Pine Straw, we're your local team for full-service pine straw and mulch, trusted by your neighbors and done right. Our spring schedule's filling up fast, so give us a call at 803-360-4850. That's It's Lucky's Pine Straw, Luckies, where your yard gets lucky.
Hey, I'm Jenny Sturm. I'm with Sturmy Plumbing. Call my dad if you have any slow drains, clogged drains, leaky pipes, runny toilets, runny sinks, or no hot water. Call Sturmy Plumbing for all of your service and repair needs. 803-201-2689. At Sturmy Plumbing, where we make your gray skies blue.
Hey, this is Brian with Stormy Plumbing. Give us a call at 803-201-2689. Again, the number is 803-201-2689. We look forward to hearing from you.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
I-77 northbound at Blythewood Road. Things moving a little bit better in there, but still some delays from that disabled truck, that vehicle fire that had been earlier. So again, slow going. I-77 northbound at exit 27. Forecast-wise, going to be cloudy today, 84 for a high, maybe a pop-up shower tomorrow afternoon, 81 for the high, and then 84 for Saturday, 80 on Sunday, when we might see an afternoon or evening shower. Right now, though, it's a nice start to your morning. It is 61.
The early game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
That got C.B. Buckner, and he is down.
Yeah, that was a direct shot. Look out. Yikes.
Immediately, the Brewers trainer Lee Myers is out to check on C.B. Buckner. That was a direct shot right off of his mask.
And those can't be surprised if he continued.
And it looks like he's not.
Yeah, that was a direct shot. And he went down.
As our boy Elijah Campbell would say, it can get worse. And if C.B. Buckner thought he was having a bad week, it got worse with Jay, can we hear that one? Can we hear that clip one more time, please? If we can get that one more time, just listening to this clip, because everybody knows what happens.
Ooh, that got C.B. Buckner, and he is down.
Yeah, that was a direct shot. Look out. Yikes.
Immediately, the Brewers trainer Lee Myers is out to check on
Never a good series, never a good sign when somebody's commentating and says, yikes.
That, or whenever he starts, the first thing you hear is, ooh. That's not.
Tough spot for C.B. Buckner. If you don't know who C.B. Buckner is, you probably may not have known who C.B. Buckner was, because why would you? He was just an unassuming umpire. Unless you were deep in Major League Baseball weeds, you probably would not have known who this fellow was. But he's having a bad week, and we're going to explore his week for today's morning meeting.
Repeat after me. Today will be an awesome day. Let's go.
Let's go, CB.
Good morning, great day. Today will be an awesome day. Good morning, great day. Today will be an awesome day.
All right, Nick, you are a little bit deeper in the Major League Baseball woods than I am. Were you familiar with C.B. Buckner before this week, before the opening of this season, I should say?
So I've heard the name. Mm-hmm. I'm not as well versed as some of my buddies as far as it goes with Major League Baseball, but I do know C.B. Buckner because C.B. Buckner has basically become, unfortunately, he's become famous for all the wrong reasons over the past season and a half. And it reminds me of, I can't think of the other umpire's name off the top of my head. Maybe is it Angel Hernandez? Yeah, it's Angel Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yes,
we know Angel.
That's the name that came to mind.
Yes.
CB has had a rough week. He took a shot to the face last night as the home plate umpire, but before that, this opening week, off to a hot start for CB Buckner. Guy had 6 ball strike calls overturned by the ABS challenge system. Also ejected Alex Cora, the Red Sox manager, after calling Trevor Story out on a very close check swing. Cora had some words. It was a pretty quick exchange, and CB said, "No, I ain't doing this today. I'm not doing this." The worst of it, though,
I don't know, because I don't know what you're gonna say, but I wonder if this is the worst.
Well, I'm curious to see what you think now, because Tuesday, the Brewers and the Rays are playing, right? And Jake Bauers gets to base. Shortstop Ben Williamson made a diving stop, airmailed the throw. Buckner was the first base umpire. Now, mind you, again, I just said it was an airmailed throw. It went over the head of the first baseman. CB Buckner called the runner out because he didn't touch the first base pad. And what gets me is they show the replay, and you clearly see dude touch the first base pad. And it quickly, I mean, it got, it just...
What's worse about that is you clearly see the dude touch the base, and then you also clearly see Mr. Buckner not looking at the play at all.
Right.
He's looking at the ball going, and it's like, hey, man.
The camera flashes to him, and he just goes, like, what? There's no way. So they ended up overturning it. There was an instant replay. Yeah. Everything got fixed, but CD Buckner.
I think eyes are going to be on him a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I wonder if he's in his head now. I wonder if he's I wonder if he's gotten kind of. I mean, he did not. And here's the thing: from what I read, he did not have a sterling reputation anyway, because he had two things going against him, and it seems to work. And it's very much interesting. You brought up the Angel Hernandez, very much in this same category. The guy has a pretty inconsistent zone.
Yes.
Is known for having a pretty inconsistent zone, and on top of that, extremely defensive. So he's also known for tossing people.
Yes.
So he's tossing people, for him probably making not a great call.
I would think there's got to be a Twitter account that's keeping track of like ABS and Buckner.
That's a great.
I'm sure there is
great consideration.
Because Nick, as you were talking about him obviously missing the guy from the back, I was going to bring up from the Cincinnati game with Eugenio Suarez, where he got ABS twice.
Yeah.
2 times in a row.
Twice in one.
And both of them worked.
And he was wrong twice.
Yeah. No. And it's like, at the end of the day, like, I do feel for the guy, because not because of that. Let me make that clear. Not because of that, because that's just rough. But that was a 100.2 mile an hour fastball that hit him in the face mask yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's
dangerous.
There is a solid chance he's got a concussion. The man's 63 years old. He's been doing. I mean, that part of the situation stinks. And I've seen very mixed bags of comments on the situation on social media since it happened. And I'm not gonna get too far into that, because there's some people who maybe got more of a chuckle out of it than I did at first. No, that's not to say
don't want to see a man hurt, even if he's not totally great at his job.
It's one of those things where it's hard when you go watch the clip and the first thing you hear is, "Oh," and then you try not to give at least like a little bit of a giggle after that.
Yeah, well, when the announcer says "Yikes," that's tough. Well, he took it to the face, but there's one spot he might have preferred that it didn't hit. So
yeah, then that has happened already this season too.
I did see that. I did see that also.
Fastball in the dirt.
So.
Or off speed.
That's a different type of yikes.
I guess going back to what Elijah says all the time, it could get worse.
It could. Right? Absolutely could.
It could get worse. But the ABS has been a hit as far as Major League Baseball is concerned. It's been, people have really embraced it, and people are excited about it. I generally against replay, but I'm okay with this one. I'm okay with ABS. However, it might have gone too far. Jen, can we hear this next clip, please?
Like that.
Oh, Basayo's going to challenge.
Yep. Well, why not?
We have not seen a challenge end a game yet. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Basayo,
of course, it's sponsored.
Yes. first ever ABS challenge to end a game here at Oriole Park.
And can I say that the headline was a walk-off ABS challenge? That is not a walk-off.
Not a walk-off.
Not a walk-off.
If you've ever listened to this show, you know I have a couple of things I stand on. And what is the definition of a walk-off?
Not even close.
I cannot believe we have made it to where ABS is considered a walk-off and you can win a game on that.
It's the most frustrating thing in the world. And also imagine being the home plate umpire who made the call.
Yeah.
Right? Who has to now deal with the fans going crazy because you just got a walk-off and it came on a review?
We will come back to ABS because we do have a scandal brewing. That being said, things are happening. Baseball's moving. We talked about Carolina baseball, but there's been some conversation up near the beach, right near the beach. And we're going to get back into what Kevin Schnall said. This is the early game.
The game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today by dialing pound 250 and use keyword QC Kinetics.
Sponsored by SC Education Lottery. The South Carolina Education Lottery encourages all of their players to learn about your play before you pay. To learn how the odds work, common lottery myths, and the signs of problem gambling, check out sceducationlottery.com/betteryou. Playing the lottery for fun is a win for education.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Darius Rucker is coming home to Columbia. The country music superstar and longtime Gamecock supporter will be joined by Lauren Elena to headline the Garnet and Black Spring Fest on Saturday, April 11th at Colonial Life Arena. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Come out early for the free pre-concert block party, featuring a meet and greet with football student athletes, food, games for kids, and more. For more information on the Garnet and Black Spring Fest, visit GamecocksOnline.com.
At Atkins Law, we believe that if you've been hurt on the job or in a car wreck, recovery should come first. I'm Dewana Looper.
And I'm Joe Whiteman.
We're not just the voices you hear, we're the faces you'll see if you come in.
Accidents can cause a lot of stress and worry. Our team shows up for you during those difficult times by offering thoughtful guidance.
We're small on purpose, local by design, and serve with compassion.
Remember, who you hire matters. Check us out at hollyatkinslaw.com.
When your money's on the line, are you okay with a basic free tax service? Get the confidence of TurboTax with free Fed and state filing on Intuit Credit Karma. Around 37% of filers qualify. Simple 1040s only. See details at turbotax.com/free.
New tires do more than keep you rolling. They make every drive smoother, quieter, and more efficient. At Wetzel's Automotive, we carry top brand tires to fit your vehicle and every budget. As your neighborhood shop, we take time to mount, balance, and align them the right way so you'll enjoy better handling and longer tire life. Plus, free rotations with your tire purchase help you get the most miles out of every set. For friendly service and trusted care, visit us at 2017 Augusta Road in West Columbia or online at wetzelsauto.com.
When you're looking for Gamecock merchandise, always think Gamecock Traditions. Style, selection, quality, and the absolute best pricing. That's always the Gamecock Traditions way. Right now, score Champion crewneck sweats for just $44.99. Need a hoodie? Champion hooded sweats are only $54.99. That's $8 to $10 less than any other Gamecock store. And they keep them in stock. Sizes small through triple extra large, all the best colors. Gamecock Traditions in Lexington, Sand Hills Village, or online at GamecockTraditions.com. Great gear, better prices always.
Inside with Chris Van Vliet.
Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet.
Behind the scenes conversations with the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
How did you know you weren't going to kill Hornswoggle with that move? I didn't. That fall with suicide. I don't know how you survived.
Yeah, luck. And special live coverage of the biggest biggest professional wrestling event of the year.
If you've ever wanted to know where the best place to watch WrestleMania is, right here. I've got a live show there, Insight Live, on the Thursday night.
Pro wrestling at its best.
Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform. See you there.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Slow traffic, I-26 eastbound from about mile marker 102 to Bush River Road. So be mindful there. About a 6-mile stretch of slow go. And Old Hopkins Road near Thrush Street in the Hopkins area, an accident as well. We're going to see a mix of clouds and sun today. 84, that's going to be the high. Tomorrow, a high of 81. Maybe an afternoon shower popping up. And then Saturday, cloudy, 84. Right now, though, the morning kind of holding a little bit steady, 61.
The Early Game. With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Nothing makes fans more excited than a coaching search. It's like manna in the desert. It's water when things are not going well.
Christmas in July.
Christmas in July. Hopefully this one won't go to July. Who knows? And we, as South Carolina baseball fans, we are in the middle of a coaching search, whether we want to know it or not. We may have a coach, Monty Lee, who's auditioning for the job. I'm sure people have their hot boards lit up, and one of the first names that came up on multiple lists, hot boards, everywhere you can look, was Coastal's head coach, Kevin Schnall. The problem was the first part of that sentence. He's Coastal's head coach. And so it's very difficult. And I want to make sure before we get into this conversation, Kevin has been on this show. He strikes me as an all-business guy.
100%.
The opposite of scoundrel.
Yep.
Right? He's an all-business guy. I really liked him when he was on the show, but he is straight to business. And so this whole conversation is, obviously, we didn't plan on firing Paul Mainieri during the middle of the season. He didn't plan on having to have these conversations. And so the conversation has obviously drifted towards somebody who has done the work to put themselves in a spot where they should be considered for multiple coaching positions. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it goes. If you do a good job, you're going to be considered for other spots. Every coach knows and understands that. With that being said, the question had to be asked of him in his most recent presser. And so Coastal's head coach, Kevin Schnall, addressed, I won't say the rumor, but addressed the discussion around his coaching future.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. We're in week 11, and we're already talking about jobs, what a world we're in. The only thing I can speak on with certainty is our focus right now is extremely microscopic, and there's only two things that matter. Number one, what can we do to make this team better? Number two, what can we do to make this program better? And I can assure you that there's going to be nothing that's going to distract us from our standards. There's going to be nothing that's going to distract us from our responsibility to lead these players and this team. That said, the landscape of college baseball has changed drastically in the last 2 or 3 years. And if you don't adapt and adjust to those changes, you will get ran over extremely fast. And we're very fortunate here at Coastal Carolina to have tremendous leadership. Chance Miller, our athletic director, Dr. Weinbrake, our president, Natasha Hanna, the chair of our board of trustees, the executive advisor to our president, Joe Moglia. They fully understand these changes and the requirements it takes, the commitment it takes for Coastal baseball to remain elite. They understand and recognize There are some immediate facility needs. They understand that there is more resources needed for us to remain one of the most consistent premier college baseball programs in the entire country, and we have full confidence in their leadership.
Okay. I wanted to preface that comment by saying, again, we are not on scoundrel watch. We are not on scoundrel warning. I think Kevin is all business, and even to this point, I think his answer kind of illustrates who he is. But Nick, you've had some conversations about this. You've had some. You talked about this on your show. How did the general public take those comments?
Not great.
And well, not general public. How did the Coastal Carolina community
Not
take
well
those
at
comments?
all.
Okay, why?
A lot of people basically, I mean, like we talked about this on Palmetto Sports Daily. Our sports director up in Myrtle Beach, one of our stations that we partner with for the show, put out the whole soundbite. And the first comment on that tweet was, "This does not give me a warm, fuzzy feeling." Because at the same time, you know, like because
Kevin's not a warm, fuzzy guy.
He's not. But when the Tennessee job came open, when Vitello went to San Francisco, there was talk that he was in the running for that job, and he was probably one of the only other people that they interviewed before hiring Elander.
I want to say it has been confirmed that he did interview for the job.
He did interview, and then he comes out after the Elander news becomes official and says, "I'm dedicated to Coastal. We're building a championship program," and he stands on business. Now, I get you're in the middle of the season, so you might have a different approach because you're in the middle of a season and people are talking about you getting another job, but at the same time, this was late into the summer when people were talking to him about the Tennessee job, and he gave that kind of spirited answer, but also there was a coach hired. So it kind of let the steam off of him quickly when he just got the chance to rebuttal, and his rebuttal was, "I love this program. I was never going to do that." And again, he's definitely all business, but at the same time, if I'm given the opportunity, I've interviewed for a job and they hire somebody else and that rumor mill gets swirled up quick and then dies, I think he won a lot of people back the second he got the chance to go on his pedestal and say, "I love this program, we're building a championship culture," and this, that, and the other. He did not say that yesterday.
It was not a denial.
No, it wasn't a denial. It wasn't he didn't even really address it. All he said was, "It's crazy that we're talking about coaching searches in April," which is totally fair.
So mark the calendar for June 23rd, which is the day after the men's championship. I mean, now it could be sooner, but
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm going to keep that one in mind because I genuinely think, and there were a lot of people, of course, as soon as the Gamecock fans got a hold of it, I love Gamecock fans. I went to school here. I am a Gamecock fan, but man, you give them just a little bit to run with, and they'll run a marathon with it. They take that piece of toilet paper and just keep on running until the roll gets out, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see the visual of like somebody doing an ombre from teal to garnet. You know, we're transitioning him.
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, like, because when the news first popped off about Manera, you saw all the tweets of people editing Gamecock gear onto Kevin Schnall, and they're like, "We're already Under Armour." It's like, no, that's not how this works. And Coastal fans were quick to shut it down and said, "This guy's Coastal committed." After yesterday, and the way that he answered like 4 different questions, and not one of them was directly addressing the South Carolina job, I think maybe the concern level has risen, but I'm not sure that Coastal fans aren't still fully thinking he's coming back next year.
Yeah. And to that point, it's a credit to the program because he's put himself and the program in that position. And again, if you don't, you know, Kevin is a lifer from Coastal.
Right.
Over 20 seasons as part of the Coastal program, as a player, as an assistant coach. Last year was actually his first year as the head coach.
Right.
So when he says that he has an affinity for that place and he loves that place, that's real.
Yeah.
That is a real thing. But also,
this is the SEC.
I got dreams, baby.
Yeah.
You know,
you're right. I think the big thing for it, though, right, is like, and maybe this is where the love of the program really sticks, is this is a guy who played for Gary Gilmore and then coached with Gary Gilmore and became his predecessor. And so, or maybe that's not the word I'm looking for. His predecessor before or after? I don't remember.
Before.
So it's not predecessor. He's the successor. That's the word. He was Gary Gilmore's successor. That is a huge honor for a guy who's been around that program for so long. And to do what he did with that team in his first year, insanely impressive. He got given a really good program and brought in what he needed to build it the way he wanted to fully kind of full circle that team. And they made it to the final stage. And I don't doubt that they're going to be in the running to go back this year.
That's the plan and that's the goal. We're sticking with baseball here because we talked about ABS in the morning meeting. We talked about Kevin Schnall with baseball, but we have a scandal brewing in Major League Baseball. And our own Jen Jensen was on this one early. So we're going to have to bring in our TMZ reporter to report on some baseball players are getting shorter. We'll talk about this on the way back. This is the early game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Will the Monsters of the Midway have to cross state lines? The Chicago Bears have set a soft deadline of late spring or early summer to finalize the location of their brand new enclosed stadium. Team president Kevin Warren confirmed Wednesday the choice is down to two massive sites, Arlington Heights or a lakefront property. In Hammond, Indiana, are the Bears going to a whole new state? I'm Drake Toll.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
No one likes having to choose. That's why with America's best lineup of hybrids from Hyundai, you get the best of both worlds. Like the reliable and efficient Tucson Hybrid with America's best warranty. Or the stylish yet capable Santa Fe Hybrid with power to navigate the toughest terrain. It's like having your cake and eating it too. You know, if you could drive a cake. Hybrids from Hyundai. It's the best of both worlds. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110. Guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
800-676-1090. 800-676-1090. 800-676-1090. That's 800-676-1090.
Rates available to may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify.
Paid for by Airtime Media.
Life Matters. A newly elected member of the British Parliament took his little girl on a brief tour of London. They came to Westminster Abbey, and the awesomeness of that structure greatly impressed the little 8-year-old. Not only is it a functioning church, but it's the burial place of kings, queens, and nobles. The architecture is phenomenal. It is, in fact, my very favorite place in that great city. The father, noticing the intense concentration of his daughter, said, "Sweetheart, what are you thinking about?" "Daddy," she said, "I was thinking about how big you seem at home and how small you look in here." Coming into a holy place can have that effect on all of us. I think we all need to visit God's house regularly in order to help us remember who the big guy in life really is. This is Pastor Stephen Chitty. Visit us on Sundays or at ChristianLifeColumbia.com to learn more. And remember, friends, life matters, and so do you. The Early Game with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Look at your driver's license right now.
How much honesty is really out there?
I'm challenging you.
I feel like I just got called out.
Look at your driver's license right now. Are you as tall as you say you are? I can never understand how, with something so important, that you just let us put whatever.
Yes.
You're right.
You were accurate?
I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
Unless I've shrunk.
Because...
Which Travis Darnaud said does happen.
It can happen.
Yeah, it can.
It can.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. But I am one of the rare species. I'm like 5'11" and 3/4.
Okay.
Of whatever combine height.
Right.
Not AAU height and not program height. Program height, I'm 6'2".
Yep.
Combine height, 5'11" and 3/4. And we know measurements matter. We talk about the intangibles all the time, but they usually think about them in a way. It's always a way that's like, just look cool. There's never really like a strategic thing behind it. Sometimes I think about Kevin Durant, who just adamantly insists that he's not 7 feet tall. Because he doesn't want to be considered a 7-footer.
Right.
And I don't know what that's about. But baseball has taken this height thing to a new level. Jen, you were on this early, and we've seen this grow. What is the new trend taking over Major League Baseball?
So with the ABS system, to make sure the strike zone is accurate, they need to now know the height of every player. And that way the strike zone is appropriately adjusted. So as they were measuring guys, we were finding out that, for instance, the Reds left fielder Gavin Lux says he's 6'2". He's actually 5'11".
Okay.
That was one of the more egregious ones.
I feel you, Gavin.
You know, the Cubs, we got Bregman at third, and he's gone from like 6 feet to 5'10". There's a couple other players. Phillies have one, Detroit, Red Sox, it's the Mariners, Cal Riley's 6 feet to 5'10". So a lot of that. Is it Gleyber Torres? 6'1" to 5'10".
Yeah, it's always it's right in that area where we get
We want to be a little bit over 6 feet.
You want to be a little bit over 6 feet because it just sounds cooler.
Yep. There's a lot of 5'10s out there.
Most of us.
Nick saying 5'10"?
5'10". 5'10". What gets me, this is totally irrelevant, but when you started with look at your ID, I think about this way too often. You can just tell people at the DMV how tall you want to be.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
This is supposed to be an official document. I could be like, yeah, 250.
Hey,
I weigh 250.
That's right. Hey, I'm 225.
It's whatever you want.
And then, somebody official's like, I don't think so, sir.
But it is funny, though, to see the trend that literally all of the ones who, now again, Bryson Stott from the Phillies went from 6'3" to 6'1", but for the most part, all of them, they were really 5'10", 5'11", but they pushed to be over 6 feet.
Yeah. That is a thing.
And not uncommon.
That is a thing athletically. But as you stated, with these accurate measurements, you also starting to see the strike zone get smaller, more specific, and it might be to their benefit because if you say you're 6'2" and you have a 6'2" strike zone, but you're really 5'10", that's 3 inches of strike zone that you might be giving them. So now the guys are just having to come to the conclusion like, hey, yeah, I've been a fraud all my life. I'm actually 5'10".
Well, that was because I think one of the other ones, Jen, was Travis Darnaud for the Angels, who was listed at 6 foot and has been for, I think he said, like decades now that he's been in the league, and now he's at 5'10". He's one of the 5'10ers now, but again, that was the first thing. Bo Naylor, who's a catcher for, I think it was the Brewers, when they interviewed in this story, for the Guardians. And he said, look, if it's going to get me a smaller zone, then I'm with it. Because all of his teammates have been joking in post-game interviews saying, like, yeah, Bo's 5'2", apparently. He's listed as 5'10", or 5'9", sorry. But he was 6 feet on every program, every roster before that.
Yeah.
You brought up Travis Darnaud, and I'd be remiss not to mention that we have, his doppelganger, Wes Mitchell.
Oh, yeah. I saw the tweet.
It's crazy.
It is unbelievable.
It's amazing. Like, if you Wes, shout out to Wes, is my guy from Gamecock Central, Travis Darnaud, you look at those two, it's like, what happened here?
I would like to put this out there. I've never seen them in the same room at the same time. I'm sure Wes has been to many Braves games. How do we know Travis d'Arnaud wasn't a scratch that day?
Was Travis d'Arnaud on the sidelines watching spring practice 2 days ago?
The odds might be slim, but they're never zero.
All I'm just saying is if you get a little bit bored at work, go look it up. Wes Mitchell, Travis d'Arnaud, whoa.
I'll be doing that in the break.
Just check it out. It's
I'm
uncanny.
serious. Yeah, I think, was it Jack that tweeted it from spring practice the other day?
It's uncanny. But yeah, so don't feel bad if your measurements aren't quite accurate because it happens to major leaguers also.
At the same time, though, maybe feel good that you get to tell people at the DMV your height, because these guys don't get to anymore.
That's true.
Right.
And unfortunately, the difference is they're Major League Baseball players. We're just the common man.
Yeah. You see Travis going to get a new license, and the dude happens to be a fan. He's like, hey.
I know.
You're 5'10". 5'10".
He's 5'10".
We're just going to take a black Sharpie across this. This isn't going to happen.
We
That'd
know
be
you.
amazing.
Well, 2 hours in the books. We're going to the third and long. Early game goes deep. We'll be doing all of that. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll be revisiting the Gamecock warning. On deck.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Sponsored by Lowe's. Shop Springfest at Lowe's to get an additional free Ego 56-volt battery when you buy a select Ego mower, trimmer, or blower. Only at Lowe's. Valid through April 8th while supplies last.
Average Owls. Our chairs sit. Our tables stand.
You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Cumulus Digital outperforms industry benchmarks by over 25%. See what Smarter Digital can do for you at cumulusdigital.com.
I'm Jason Reynolds. You may wonder if you're better off hiring a big corporate law firm with hundreds of lawyers, or should you go local?
I'm Stephen Samuels. With the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, you get me, or Jason, or Michael, or David. You have your own lawyer who can go toe-to-toe with anybody from big law to big insurance.
Here's how you know. Call 803-779-4000. You won't get a robot. You'll get Abby or Andrea or one of our other wonderful people taking your call. Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
The one and only Monster Jam. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Sparkle Smash, and more. Only at Monster Jam. Save 25% on face value of a family 4-pack of tickets. Get your savings coupon from participating Texas Roadhouse locations. See coupon for details. Restrictions may apply. Coming to Colonial Life Arena April 18th and 19th.
Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game for AAA Heating and Air. Look, I know you're thinking about a lot of spring cleaning right now, but are you thinking about your generators? You need to be. Those things are vitally important when our power goes out. You want to make sure your generator is running great. At AAA Heating and Air, they're ready to help you. So call today or visit their website. Call AAAtoday.com and tell them Bill Gunner with 107.5 The Game sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Average Amy's. Our coffee has caffeine and our muffins are cooked.
You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Cumulus Digital outperforms industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
A report of an accident, Blythewood Road at Boney Road. Aside from that, other accidents have been cleared that we know of, and the forecast for today, 84 with cloudy conditions. Tomorrow, a high of about 81. Might see a pop-up shower later in the afternoon. And for Saturday, 84. Sunday, 80 with, again, maybe an afternoon or evening shower. But right now, it's a mix of clouds and sun and 61.
Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game, WNKT Eastover, Columbia, a Cumulus media station. The Early Game starts with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Welcome in to the early game, third and long. We are in the studio of Preston Thorne, Nick Harvey, Jen Jensen. Nick is in for our buddy Elijah, who is starting his travels out west to the land of the sun. He's going out to Phoenix. It should be a great time. If you've never been to Phoenix, awesome town. We talked about it. Really, really, really cool town. But the reason why he's going to Phoenix is obviously because the women have advanced to their sixth, not one, not two, not three, like LeBron. Sixth straight Final Four. Again, it's an accomplishment that most of us who are listening, most of us who are paying attention, we won't fully appreciate it until it's not happening anymore. And then we'll reminisce about the days when it's essentially a lock. So much a lock that Elijah and his friend essentially planned this trip 2 years ago. When the dates were listed, it was like, oh, the Final Four is going to be in Phoenix. There's a very strong chance that Dawn and her team will be there, and they've made it there for the sixth year in a row. That being said, they've gotten to the Final Four. They're not having a rematch because it's not for the championship, but they will be facing UConn. When you hear about UConn, what are some of your thoughts?
Scary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on a year-in, year-out basis, because besides, 6 straight that I think this tied Tennessee from a record of years back, but UConn had gone to, 22 straight
ridiculous
Final Fours up until like 2022? I mean, that's ridiculous. Gino Auriemma has built a legacy that only, I think, Dawn Staley would be able to approach.
It's funny you say that because I was trying to think of like some things maybe we could do for the morning meeting, and I was going to say like maybe we can do an all-time draft of South Carolina versus UConn. I don't think we want none of that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Literally, UConn has literally the conversation about who's the greatest of all time just amongst UConn players. Like, we could talk about Taurasi, Maya Moore, Breonna Stewart, on and on. I mean, Sarah Strong is coming along.
Paige Beckers was yeah.
There's a legit conversation about if you're the greatest that have ever played at UConn, you might be the GOAT women's basketball player. That's a whole nother conversation. That being said, we're not playing them. We're playing this team this year. And they're good. 38-0, undefeated, but they haven't really played anybody, and they haven't played any close games. How do you think that's going to benefit South Carolina as they try to take on this task?
Well, I think South Carolina plays in the toughest conference in women's basketball. I mean, the SEC had so many ranked teams, so many tournament teams this season that they have been battle-tested through and through. They even played some non-conference games that were, extremely big challenges. I mean, heck, they played Texas 3 times this season. One of those didn't even count for a conference game. So, I mean, you're talking about 2 teams in the Final Four who have played each other 3 times and could be meeting for a 4th, depending on the results of tomorrow night. I personally feel like South Carolina knows what they have to do, and UConn might be caught on the back end of being a team that just hasn't seen the standard of competition that they're going to see tomorrow. There's multiple South Carolina women's basketball players that can make a difference on the court. It's not just one person. Like, this isn't UConn largely not – they're all around a great team, but Sarah Strong, AZ Fudd. Those are the two names that you hear and immediately know that's going to be a problem. How do we defend those two? South Carolina, you got Joyce Edwards, Raven Johnson, Tanaya Latson, Tessa Johnson, Medina Okot. Agat McKeer can come off the bench and make a difference. It's just there are multiple names that could easily impact the outcome of this game tomorrow.
We talked about during the 6 o'clock hour. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. We talked about Gamecock upset watch versus upset warning and what conditions need to be in place for things to start happening. Listed a couple, and I want to go back over those. First one, who can guard Tessa? Second one, Big Mama on the boards. Third, Joyce, 20+. Fourth, Mystery Man emerges. Out of those, what would be the top two that you think, if put in place, could lead to a Gamecock upset?
I think Tessa Johnson gets hot from three-point range, and
Tournament Tessa shows
Tournament Tessa's there, and then you get that mystery player who comes off the bench or is in the starting rotation but just doesn't get the same type of ESPN pregame talk that everybody else does. Again, I mentioned it during the 6 o'clock hour, but Raven Johnson, Tanaya Latson are the two that will likely be on the starting five tomorrow, who, if Tanaya plays anything like she has at some other points in this tournament, I will approach this game with full confidence. I can tell you that right now. If South Carolina comes out like they did against TCU, I'm not going to feel good in those first few minutes.
And by come out, you mean off to a slow start.
Slow start. And they've had that issue a couple times.
We saw that happen, and that's what happened against Texas.
Right.
They could never really
get out
of the hole that they put themselves in.
Right.
Because I told Elijah, the TCU game, I turned to the game. I came into the game late. It was 14-6. I was like, what's going on here?
Right.
I wasn't necessarily nervous because it was still pretty early in the game, but I didn't know how they had gotten to that point. And unfortunately, because I think they were a letter grade better than TCU as a team, they were able to dig themselves out that hole. They don't have that luxury against UConn.
They don't. And I think, something that stands out for me too, though, is the way, because Don Staley likes to play a fast brand of basketball, and I think some of these slow starts can almost be credited to trying to come out too fast. And I think that leads to a couple forced shots, some empty possessions, maybe some turnovers, just because you're trying to push it a little too quick, too soon. I love a fast start. You want to be the faster team and wear out an opponent, especially like UConn. However, you've got to be patient enough to not make errors, get yourself a bunch of turnovers, and fall into the hole. Because like you just said, if they fall into a hole tomorrow, it's not going to be as easy to dig themselves out of it against a team like UConn. They're going to shut that down, and that's going to be, a quick hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, and to that point, we just mentioned their names. I would be remiss not to mention Sarah Strong just was named the Naismith Player of the Year.
Yep.
Her numbers are ridiculous. She leads the team in all of these categories, 18 points a game, 7 boards a game, 3 steals a game, 1 block per game. She's first nationally in defensive rating. She is phenomenal. And she's very much, I would say very much along the lines of a Tim Duncan-esque player where it doesn't ever look amazing until you look up at it and she has 25 and 5 blocks,
right,
10 boards, 3 steals, and 6 assists. And you're like, when did that happen? And then obviously AZ Fudd being sort of the leader of that situation. So that's going to be happening tomorrow. We do think we are on upset watch, which again, my favorite mnemonic, taco watch versus taco warning. Taco watch means you have all the ingredients for a taco. Taco warning means the ingredients are in the shell.
Conditions are favorable for a taco with a watch.
Exactly. We have everything in place for a watch, for a taco. It's Tuesday. You have ground beef. Doesn't necessarily mean it's Taco Tuesday. It can happen, though.
Give me a shell. We're building that taco. I want taco warning.
We want taco warning. The other thing we talked about in the 6 o'clock hour was this idea of Mazeo Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
Spring practice. What happened to Mazeo last year? And there was a lot of discussion. We played Shane's clip. We're not going to play that because I want to replay Mazeo's clip here. And Jen, this is going to be clip number 13 from today. I'll call for it in a second. But Mazeo disappeared last year. He went from being the third leading receiver on the team to being a non-factor. Last year he had 10 catches for 62 yards. That feels like something happened. And what really sparked my interest in this was that when Mike Furry talked, he kept referring to the situation that happened with Mazio last year. Didn't specifically say what it was. I have a hunch. My hypothesis is that there might have been some disagreement between Mazio and the former offensive coordinator. I do not know that. I am not reporting that. Just kind of how I think sometimes things happen, because you don't go from being the person that you was your freshman year to the person that you were your second year without there being something that happened. And from everything that we know about Mazio, he doesn't seem to be like the type of player who has the character issues that where you would see those things.
No, I mean, and Shane Beamer said it, that soundbite we played at 6, he's a dog. He's a competitor. He wants to go out and get better. And I wonder, you know, obviously I think your theory, you're very much onto something, but I also think you had some freshmen who came in with a lot of confidence last year and came into with the mindset of, I'm going to win this battle. I'm going to outwork him. And for somebody who had an impressive freshman year, I don't want to say Mazio got complacent because I don't think he's that type of person. I do think, though, that maybe the competition got a little more intense than he might have anticipated, because you saw Donovan Murph come in last season and get 14 receptions for 197 yards, and he scored a touchdown. But then you also had Vandrevius Jacobs, who we were talking about it during one of the commercial breaks earlier. But Vandrevius had, I think it was 181 yards in 2024. Mazio obviously had his 367. But Vandrevius last year was, you know, really a mix of wide receiver 1 and 2 with Nick Harbor with 548 receiving yards. So it becomes a question of development and just who came out of spring and fall last year with more of that competitive edge to earn the reps and the time. Because at the end of the day, that is a big factor, though I do think a disagreement with a coach could very well lead to you missing some playing time.
It can. I've seen it happen before,
Yeah.
and it happens. What I think the positive news is, it feels like Mike Furry, his position coach, they seem to be on the same page.
Right.
And they seem to have an agreement about how things going forward. Jen, can we listen to Mazio talk about why he came back this year based on his bad season last year?
I decided to stay here because I came here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I could have went anywhere in the country, but this is the place where I'm meant to be. And when you look back through my recruiting process, I came here because I wanted to make this school better. And I feel like when we first came here in 2024, in that year, we had a great year. We turned the whole projective of this program around, and I felt like I can't leave the way that we lost last year. I can't let that be the last taste of my mouth from this place. And I love this place, and I want to be at this place, and that's my passion for this place.
Kind of gets you fired up a little bit, right?
It does.
I mean, and that's kind of and again, that fits more in character with what we think we know, what's been reported about who Mazio is and how he approaches his life and his game and things like that. So it's just kind of a mystery as to what happened last year. But obviously, you see he's on board moving forward.
Well, and but again, like when he says, I love this place, I didn't want to leave this place with that taste in my mouth, like, I think it does show the true testament that he cares about where he's at.
Well, he's from Greenville,
right?
In case you don't know, so he is an in-state guy.
Yeah,
and he could have went anywhere he wanted to.
That's right. Well, yeah, because at one point he was going to be a Tennessee Volunteer and decided to stay home, stay in state. And again, you've found someone who not only probably loves the state where he's from, but has fallen in love and loves the school where he's at, and has guys that he probably considers family in that locker room now, and guys who are going to push him to be better while he pushes them to be better. I mean, you know, it was interesting because Shane also mentioned that he has somewhat become a leader in that locker room amongst the guys. You know, he's a junior coming into his junior year, but he's somebody that has enough of a presence as a person to be a leader, and you're going to have to count on him. Even if he, you know, doesn't have quite the same type of season that he did his freshman year this upcoming season, you're looking to him to lead a bunch of young men who need somebody with experience to do that.
I think it's something to keep an eye on. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we want that to develop because if Mazio's better, that means the room's better, and that means the offense is working well, which is something that we'll get ready to see here coming up because over this past weekend, the Gamecocks had their first scrimmage of the spring. When we come back, we'll listen to Shane talk about the dual purpose of trying to be physical but also trying to keep players healthy in the spring. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
We have a new way for you to call the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. Just dial pound 250, and when prompted, punch in the keywords, the game. And that's it. Again, pound 250 with the keywords, the game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
The Gant family with Pioneer Tree Service has been taking care of trees in Columbia and surrounding areas for over 48 years. Pioneer Tree Service provides tree and shrub removal, pruning and thinning, tree planting, cabling and bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding and removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, right-of-way maintenance, and more. They also provide 24-hour emergency tree removal. They can also handle the removal of diseased and dead trees before an emergency happens. Call them today for a free estimate. 803-794-8253. The Gant family and their team at Pioneer Tree Service can be trusted to provide professional and quality tree services with affordable pricing for residential or commercial jobs. Ashton Smith called Pioneer Tree Service and said they came when she was leaving for work, and when she got home, the tree was gone as if it was never there. She was so impressed with Pioneer Tree Service, she will definitely use them again. Here's one of the Gant girls, Madison Gant.
Call us today for a free estimate at 803-794-8253 or check us out online at pioneertreesc.com.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Hey guys, Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central here to make sure your business and property parking lots are kept available from any unwanted cars taking up your spots with Schroeder's Towing. For instance, you're coming in hot to the game studios for your show and you park next door in an unauthorized lot with signage that was provided for free from Schroeder's Towing. Next thing you know, the show is in the books and your car is out of the lot. It really is that simple. That's a true story. Call Schroeder's today and keep those unwanted cars out of your lots. Online at schroederstowing.net.
Just dial pound 250 and use the keyword tow truck.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
I'm Michael Jeffcoat. Way too often, insurance companies jerk good people around after a bad car wreck. Don't let them do that to you. Call Jeffcoat, all hours, every day, 803-200-2000.
Responsible attorney Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Fan City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon, Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
I'm Michael Jeffcoat. Way too often, insurance companies jerk good people around after a bad car wreck. Don't let them do that to you. Call Jeffcoat, all hours, every day, 803-200-2000.
Responsible attorney Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Blythewood Road at Boney Road, an accident there. Also getting word that I-77 northbound after Blythewood Road, there still may be another incident there. Getting word on that here shortly. Highway 21 near Blythewood Road, also an accident. So be careful, especially that side of town. 84 for the high today, 81 with maybe an afternoon pop-up shower tomorrow, 84 with clouds on Saturday, 61 currently on the early game.
The early game. With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Spring practice is here. We had the first scrimmage, and now we're looking at the eternal dilemma that every coach faces during this time. How do I get my players tough, but how do I keep them healthy? And that is always the eternal question that I imagine if you're a football coach and you have that one answered, if you could bottle that, you'd be a multi-billionaire, because every football coach wants to know that answer. You've heard this discussion before, right?
Many, many times.
You have to try and figure out the spring is for fundamentals. Oftentimes with fundamentals, again, shout out to Lou Holtz, fundamentals often comes with a lot of hitting.
Yeah.
Because that is what football is about, blocking and tackling. Blocking and tackling also raises the chance of injury. But the flip side of it is if you don't block and tackle, that also raises the chance of injury. And so you're caught in this really tough situation as a coach of trying to balance in the idea of how do I get my players tough, but how do I keep them healthy?
Yep.
And Shane addressed this issue. Jen, can we get the cut here where Shane talks about how he's trying to balance that in the spring?
I'd say it's a combination of both, Phil. It's certainly, yes, you want to be. I don't think you can just say that, we're going to be a physical team and then all of a sudden on September 5th, we go out there and we just say, okay, play physical and start tackling and doing all that stuff if you haven't done it in practice. I mean, we'll do some physicality, we'll do some tackling and all that in August leading up to the first game, but certainly during the springtime too. That's one thing I love about this team is they love that aspect of it. Like if I went out there and said, hey, we're going to tackle and just scrimmage 15 practices this spring, they'd be like, let's freaking go. Like they get mad when we don't let them do that sometimes. They always, hey, can we go live? Can we go live and tackle? And so I love that aspect of them. But we balance it. And it happens more systematically this year with how we're doing things, Phil, just because of the practice model that we've talked about. 5 of the 15 practices were not even going against. It's not even offense, defense. It's like today was, where it was strictly just technique and fundamentals. Now, y'all saw some stuff in that bonus 5 minutes where we were doing some drill work, O-line versus D-line, but that was the extent of what we did offense versus defense today. So that really only leaves you 10 practices where you're competing against one another. But, yeah, we've had, I guess 2 or 3 days where we've done some live tackling to the ground. We'll do some of that tomorrow. We'll do a little bit of it in a goal line period that we're going to have tomorrow in practice. But I just think if you're going to say you're physical and you're going to play tough and play physical, you got to practice that way. But our guys do a good job, knock on wood, of practicing physical, even if we're not always tackling to the ground and you're thudding up and some of those physical plays I've talked about with Jazavian Currents were plays where we weren't tackling to the ground, but he came in there with a physical mindset and thudded up a returner or a running back in the open field, which allows you to build that, physicality and toughness that you want as a team.
I'll never forget in high school, we had a bye week during the regular season.
Okay. I know where this is going.
Our coaches picked teams, and we split it all up, had offense, defense, everything like that. Played a scrimmage in the middle of the week during our bye week practice. And one play, threw an interception. One of the offensive linemen, one of my buddies, is running downfield and just gets ear-holed by our linebacker. and was concussed, and that was it. So him talking about guys thudding up, being safe, doing the right thing, great. That is 9 times out of 10 him, like, most anybody I think would agree that it's hard to avoid not kicking into full swing when you're in a game or scrimmage setting. Like, you were playing to win.
There's a protection aspect. Like, you're protecting yourself because these monsters are after me.
Right.
So I don't know how to pull up. And then there's a competitive aspect, too. Like, he just talked about Jazavian Currents going down there and thudding up a running back. And I immediately see him. That thud is a little bit more thud. He's doing a little bit more thudding than he's supposed to.
Right.
Or the thing that the running backs always do. Hey, dog, this was thud. Why are you still running? You were tackled. And now once you run through that thud and then the coaches and everybody celebrates like I didn't tackle you, guess what I'm gonna have to do the next time?
You have to blow them up.
I gotta hit you the next time. And then it builds on one another. And so it's always a delicate balance of trying to figure out how do I get my team to be physical in practice, but also keep each other healthy. But also a lot of that is learning how to practice.
Yeah,
and learning how to do those things. And those are the things that you learn. But it is a very difficult task because you want your team to be tough, but the only way you get tough is to do tough things. And sometimes those tough things come with the risk of getting injured.
Yeah, I mean, I had same exact head coach when I was in high school. Used to tell us you can't get hurt if you're going 100 miles an hour every play.
I mean,
if you take a play off, that's when you get hurt.
I feel like that's coaching propaganda.
100% it is.
Because, yes, you can get hurt. In fact, a lot of people get hurt going 100 miles per hour.
I watched it. One of our same linebacker who gave that kid the concussion broke his ankle going 110 miles an hour. So that's just not true. Coaches
were all
don't say that. It's not true.
I mean, again, I played for Lou Holtz. The thing that we foundational to our core was we're tougher than you because we practice with that dude.
Right.
So we had a core identity of us was that we were tough, and you could see it early in the seasons. We would be tougher than other teams because we had already been battle tested against each other. Preseason, camp, spring ball, we were going to be tough in the beginning of the season. However, by the end of the season, Coach, we ain't got it no more.
Banged up.
You see people get hurt. You see people get tired. You see people just be like, I don't have it in me to hit another person again because we've been hitting all of this time. I'll never forget one year we were playing Florida at the end of the season, and on Thursday you walk in the locker room, and shout out to Shane and all your players who love getting physical, but on a Thursday in the middle of the season when you thought you were going to be wearing jerseys and you walk in there and it says full pads, no!
Hey, it's walkthrough day. It's walkthrough day.
So, yeah, man, it's the eternal dilemma for coaches.
Yeah.
And you just, every day throughout the spring, you know you have to do it, but you're just hoping and praying that nobody gets injured.
Absolutely, I agree. And to piggyback off of that point, too, the amount of times that somebody, like, the coaches give all their inspirational speeches at the end of practice. This is why we need to do this. We're going to get better, and the only way we can get better is by doing this, that, and the other. And then, like, you're walking off the practice field, and you hear somebody go, Coach, what are we wearing tomorrow? Shells? Walk through, and be like, it's Tuesday. Full pads. And be like, oh man. Because you're just getting over, like, the soreness from Friday night was wearing off. You catch that cramp in the middle of the night Saturday morning. Sunday, you feel okay. You're watching film. Monday, you come out to practice. Typically, it's a shells day. It's not too bad. And then they tell you full pads every Tuesday, Wednesday. That
again, maybe it's a new player. Maybe it's the NIL. But I can assure you that when Coach said we're going live, I was like, no, I don't want that.
No.
This is not what I want. Not today.
It's always the mutual agreements between the linemen to be like, hey,
you know what's up.
We could do this. We can get away with it.
Yeah, you. Hey, listen, bro. Come on. We got to be here. You know when to turn it up. Coach is coming.
The sound effects is really what sells it. Yeah.
Make it sound good for the coaches. So
you got to.
Listen, everybody hopes that we're doing their job. Haven't heard any reports out the spring that anybody's gotten hurt. That's all you want to make sure that you hear. try and get better, focus on fundamentals, keep everybody healthy, and I would consider that a successful spring. Well, in the third and hour long Goes Deep hour, we've been talking about interim coaches. How does it work? We figured out, and mostly it does not. But we're going to take another spin on the interim coach, and we're going to talk about the coach in waiting. Because as we were talking about the Kevin Schnall conversation earlier, we kind of stumbled into something that I think is worth discussing. So when we come back, we'll talk about the opposite of the interim coach, and he's the coach in waiting. This is the early game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
We have a new way for you to call the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. Just dial pound 250, and when prompted, punch in the keywords, the game. And that's it. Again, pound 250 with the keywords, the game.
Sponsored by Castle Brothers Home Services. CastleBros.com.
Replacing your HVAC system doesn't have to wait. Plan now, pay less later. Use your tax refund and save over $1,500 on a new system from Castle Brothers with low monthly payment options available. Call on Castle for comfort made easy. Visit CastleBros.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Some things are meant to be together. Perfect pairs. The combos we all know and love. Like beaches and sand in your toes. A good book and the park. Or sleepy mornings and Mickey D's. It's undeniable. My personal favorite pair to help me start the day? The toasty $2.69 sausage McMuffin with egg paired with a $2 any size iced coffee. With 20 grams of protein in one sandwich and bold coffee to power my day, there's no doubt I'd call it the perfect McDonald's match. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Plus tax entitled with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. At JT's Jeep Ram, the savings are already built in. You can see for yourself online the deep discounts we offer on new Wranglers, Grand Cherokees, Rams, and more. No guessing or games, just real savings. Clearly displayed on our website. And if you've got a trade, JT is offering up to 25% more for it. JT's Jeep Ram, 378 Lexington or Greystone Boulevard. JT'sJeep.com or JT'sRam.com. Declaration of Deal Sales Event.
Run the Cup, the Governor's Cup Road Race, sponsored by Lexington Health. Be part of history in downtown Columbia at one of the longest running and most prestigious road races in the Southeast. The Half Marathon, 5K, and Main Street Mile are open for registration. Kids can run for free in the Kids Main Street Mile. And don't miss the post-race celebration with music, food, vendors, and a special awards ceremony. Join Lexington Health and register now for the Governor's Cup Road Race, April 10th and 11th. Learn more at runthecup.com. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Not a good day to be traveling on I-77 northbound. Once again, that is closed, and that's just after exit 27 Blythewood Road. That's closed due to an accident. And then I-77 southbound at Killian Road, there is also an accident. And so a lot of congestion on I-77 northbound between Wilson Boulevard and Blythewood Road, exits 24 to 27. So if you can map out an alternate route, if you've got to head north, that would be advisable. I-26 westbound there at exit 119 and Highway 21 near Blythewood Road, an accident. And the ramp from St. Andrews Road onto I-26 eastbound is blocked. That's also causing slowdowns, especially on I-26 eastbound.
The early game starts with former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen on the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
All right, y'all. We've been going deep. We've been talking about the idea of the interim head coach because obviously we've been discussing this concept of Paul Mainieri and Monty Lee. And what does that mean for the future of Gamecock baseball? We got the interim head coach, new coach bump, won a game on Sunday. Since then, there was a pretty significant slide. Lost 4 games in a row. Got Texas tonight. Number 2 team in the nation. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes. They're coming into town for the rare Thursday to Saturday series. We'll see how that goes. But we've been discussing the idea of the interim head coach. Why does it work? Why doesn't it? Who's been successful? Who's been failures? And today we were supposed to talk about the failures of the interim head coach. But what we're going to do is pivot and to talk about another idea which is sort of adjacent to interim head coach, which is head coach in waiting. And we got that to this conversation because of Kevin Schnall. Now, Kevin Schnall had a long history at Coastal. What was his history at Coastal?
He was on staff, I think it was 2016 to 2024, as the team's recruiting coordinator and associate head coach.
So associate head coach is not head coach in waiting. However, it was sort of understood that, and I'm blanking on his name. Who's the head coach?
Gary Gilmore.
When Gary Gilmore, legend, that's my fault. When the legend would step down, it was wink, wink, nod, nod, implied that it was going to be Kevin Schnall's job, and that's what it ended up happening. And he ended up being extremely successful in his first year as a head coach, which is also a part of the discussion, the bigger discussion which we're talking about, which is Kevin Schnall's name. Because of his success, because of who he is in the baseball world, his name is going to come up in conversations for jobs. And oh, by the way, we just might happen to be in the middle of a coaching search. Jen, can we hear Kevin Schnall's thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. We're in week 11, and we're already talking about jobs. What a world we're in. The only thing I can speak on with certainty is our focus right now is extremely microscopic, and there's only 2 things that matter. Number 1, what can we do to make this team better? Number 2, what can we do to make this program better? And I can assure you that there's going to be nothing that's going to distract us from our standards. There's going to be nothing that's going to distract us from our responsibility to lead these players and this team. That said, the landscape of college baseball has changed drastically in the last 2 or 3 years. And if you don't adapt and adjust to those changes, you will get ran over extremely fast. And we're very fortunate here at Coastal Carolina to have tremendous leadership. Chance Miller, our athletic director, Dr. Weinbrake, our president, Natasha Hanna, the chair of our board of trustees, the executive advisor to our president, Joe Moglia. They fully understand these changes and the requirements it takes, the commitment it takes for Coastal baseball to remain elite. They understand and recognize there are some immediate facility needs. They understand that there is more resources needed for us to remain one of the most consistent premier college baseball programs in the entire country, and we have full confidence in their leadership.
Again, we talked about this earlier. He quickly says, "It's what a world we live in that we're talking about a coaching search in April," and it's like, okay, is that all you had to say about that? Because you just immediately flipped and went straight to Coastal, and a lot of people, a lot of Coastal fans, I think maybe wanted to hear him give the same sort of speech and song that he did after the Tennessee coaching search when they found out that he did interview for the job, but obviously went to Josh Elander. But he didn't do that. He didn't reaffirm. He said we're not going to lose focus on the bigger goal this year. We're not going to get distracted, which is what you want to hear a head coach say, because at the end of the day, that's true. You don't want anybody to get caught up in all of the rumors and all. You don't want to lose your team's interest in you because they think you might be going somewhere else. And it becomes real difficult when people on social media are going to stir the pot as often as they can, but also it's hard, I'm sure, to be in his position and give an answer that's not against what everybody is talking
because
about.
what you don't want in this situation, and again, I wholeheartedly endorse Kevin Schnall. We've had him on this program. He's a straight shooter, all business, the very opposite of what we've seen with Will Wade and the scoundrel crew. Like, he's not that. But because he's been successful and because of his reputation, it's afforded him these opportunities, which is what you want. As you want people to want your people, because that means they're doing a good job.
Right.
You want to be wanted because that means you're doing a good job. Now, though, you have to balance that with I'm here, but of course I have to take my career into consideration. And I have a kind of a personal story with this. I played for Charlie Strong when he was here. And Charlie was one of the up-and-coming defensive coordinators. He was on the rise, and it always was like every year what's going on. And we call him Chuck. Chuck was like 75% jokes, 25% serious.
Mm-hmm.
And one day he comes in the film room, and he's got like serious voice on. You're like, what's going on? He's like, hey, guys, I just want to let you know my name has come up for XYG job. I forget what job it was. I'm just letting y'all know I'm not taking that job. And this was kind of even before social media was really crazy, right? But sure enough, ESPN has like the byline. He's in consideration for this job. The message boards are hot, and obviously we're joking with him like, man, you out of here. You gonna take that? He's like, nah. He's like, nah, for serious. And for him to be like, no, I'm serious.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is for real. But he had to reassure us of this situation. Right. And as a player, it was comforting to know that, all right, my guy is wanted, but he's not leaving. I imagine those players from Coastal are having some of those similar feelings.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, and again, this is something we won't know, but it makes you wonder, like, did they have a team meeting yesterday, or have they had team meetings since the Pulmonary news broke? And all these rumors started of, hey, I'm reaffirming my commitment to you guys. I am your head coach. I'm not going anywhere. This season is what we're focused on. None of that outside noise matters to us, right? Like, that's what I think. If you're anybody in a position like that, you have to reaffirm your commitment to the people that you're with until something changes.
To that point, when Chuck ended up taking I think he took the Florida job. He called. We was on break. He called us. He called me at home before the news broke. Hey, I just want to let you know I'm taking the Florida job. We'll meet up. We'll meet up before I leave or whatever the case is. But before this hits the news, I wanted to tell you. So again, and that's why he's my dude. But at every step of the road, you just handle things a certain way.
And I think that's why it's so difficult now, though, because I mean, look at the Lane Kiffin situation and how it was. There's speculation. 90% of outlets are reporting it's already confirmed it's going to happen. and then you hear the team meeting's been called.
Right.
Like that, as a player, that has to stink.
Yeah.
It does stink. I mean, you hear the news, and you're trying not to believe it because you want to hear it from the person themselves. You don't want to hear it from social media, from a journalist who confirmed the information from the other school that's involved or something like that, and then the players are suddenly saying, oh, yeah, we got a team meeting. This is it.
Yeah, you don't want to walk into the team meeting knowing what it's about.
Right, and that's just super – it's the unfortunate truth about today's social media, though. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get so much news, and I love following the news as it's breaking on social media, but being in that locker room and having that happen to me in high school with a coach – leaving our program, like finding that out all spur of the moment, and then he later on addresses it. I mean, that just
it's not good.
It's not fun.
It's hard to come back from that.
It is.
Well, Kevin Schnall's a winner. Hopefully he continues winning because we cheer for Coastal, and we will be back with our winners for the program. This is the early game.
Wow, what a play! The Game Network, Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. Gamecock fans, get ready for something new this season. Charleston now has a new station for Carolina sports talk. Dial in to 96.9 The Game on HD3. Head to 96.9 FM and on an HD radio, punch into HD Channel 3. You'll unleash live Carolina coverage you can listen to all day long. New on HD3. It's 96.9 The Game HD3, South Carolina's newest sports station. This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Robinhood. Learn more with Robinhood at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. From facing down criminal charges to leaving the country, a Florida judge has officially granted Tiger Woods permission to leave the United States despite his pending DUI case. The ruling allows the 15-time major champion to travel internationally to enter a comprehensive inpatient treatment facility. Hope this one works. I'm Drake Toll.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Vehicle safety starts underneath. That's why the pros choose Napa for undercar solutions that stop safety issues before they become costly problems. Go further with complete repairs that restore stopping, steering, and stability. Then grow your business through trust and repeat visits. With premium rotors, pads, struts, and wheel hub assemblies, Napa has everything you need to keep undercar under control. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how. A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Too many of us spend way too much time on our phones or our computers. And as if that weren't bad enough, we've now got AI to contend with as well. AI slop, one researcher told us, is quite fatiguing, both in the actual action of viewing the content and the fact that it's so repetitive, so unoriginal. It's why a lot of people, particularly young people, are increasingly choosing the analog lifestyle to one degree or another. It might look simple. You replace a few apps, like your camera, with the real camera, or Spotify with an iPod, or it could be more extreme, where you get to enjoy parts of the day or days of the week away from your devices. Frankly, that sounds like a dream to me. And as one aficionado told us, going analog is not just about cutting myself off the internet, it's cutting the internet off from me. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
800-676-1090. 800-676-1090. 800-676-1090. That's 800-676-1090.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify.
Paid for by Airtime Media.
The Early Game. With former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Elijah Campbell, and Jen Jensen. On the Game Network, 107.5 Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
More about them than it is about the team. Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it. I want winners. Winners.
Yes, Coach, we got you. It would not be the end of the show without getting to our winners. Sponsored by the Golden Spur. So with that being said, Nick, you're the visitor. So you go first. What you got for us?
I got somebody who just celebrated 30 years in the TV business and is proving to everyone what a road warrior is. I mean, the definition should say Judy Gatson.
Okay.
Because my 5 o'clock anchor, who I work with at WIS TV, just got into Charlotte. She's at the airport. She's getting ready to head out to Phoenix. And, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, she was in Sacramento to start the week when the Gamecocks picked up their Elite Eight win. She flew back to South Carolina for the debate in Newberry because as an anchor who is entitled to other duties as assigned, she was a panelist for the first gubernatorial debate amongst the GOP candidates last night. So she came all the way back from Sacramento to South Carolina, was in Newberry last night for this debate. I texted her first thing this morning, and I said, so are you getting back on the road this morning? And she texted me back a little bit ago, said she was just rolling into Charlotte. She's going to Phoenix to meet the team for the Final Four. There's a special on our air tonight. She will be on the air for that special at 7:30. I mean, come on.
Got that dog in her. Yeah, that's like I said, I was watching, flipping through the channels, and I came across the debate. I was checking it out for a split second, and then she asked one of the questions. I was like, hold on a second. I just saw her in Sacramento. What's going on here?
Yeah. She pulled a Mike Tirico. Basically, if you think about what Tirico did with the Super Bowl and the Olympics.
Yes.
Judy basically just did the same thing.
I did see that. My winner is going to be, we've talked about it. It's Thursday, so it can't be Taco Thursday.
Okay.
But tacos, winners, all of them.
I love it.
Ground beef tacos, shrimp tacos, chicken tacos, however you want to do it. Now, here's the key. I do like gringo tacos, so I do like cheese, lettuce. I don't really love, I love a hard taco. I love a soft taco.
Me too.
Don't give me a corn tortilla. Keep those away from me. Only flour tortillas for your boy.
That's a fair point. I mean, I don't have a huge preference, but see, like I was about to go 1, 2, 3, like probably ground beef, shrimp, then chicken. I think would be my top 3 tacos.
I'll roll with that as the case. Yeah, I tend to not love any authentic food. I need mine gringoed up a little bit, right? I don't like real Chinese food. I don't like real Italian food. I don't like real French food. I need it to be gringoed up a little bit. We need to, so that's how I typically feel about that. So tacos, winners.
That's a good one. And I'm going to go with one more here, and I'm going to go with the number 6.
Okay.
6 straight.
Yes.
Final Fours for the Gamecock women. Got a big one with UConn tomorrow, and I am extremely excited for it. I think there's a little bit of that nervous feeling, but at the same time, like, how can you not love that feeling? Mm-hmm. That's the glory of the sport. You're locked in for a good one. Everybody knows it. It's going to be a fun game.
Building on the conversation that we're having today, though many people may not think he is, I think we need to give him some love. CB Buckner, you're a winner to somebody. Somebody loves you. I don't know whether it's your children, your grandchildren, your mom. Just remember when you look in the mirror today on that big knot that you got on your head from taking 101 off the beam. Yikes. Just remember, CB Butler, you are a winner.
That plays right into the same number 6, too, because he's had 6 overturned calls because of ABS this season.
Yeah. Oh, man. Some people are going to get exposed. But as I said, I'm going to give, you know what? My last one I'm going to give to umpires. Because they have actually proven that they're really good at this job.
Yeah.
Because, yes, there are some calls that are getting overturned, but I saw a statistic that said over 60% of the calls that have been overturned were less than an inch off the plate. So these dudes are really good. Dudes and women, they are really proficient at this job. And then there's CB Butler.
Yeah. Yep. One more for me, and I'm going to go with the DMVs across the country who let you tell them whatever you want when putting your height on your ID. Because if I had to give an actual height, I'm pretty sure mine's accurate on a good day. And I'm going to say that confidently. I'm not going to say what it is, because if you see me in public and go, nah, there's no way. There's no way he's that tall. I will tell you it's below 6. I'm honest enough to say it's below 6
Shout out to the DMV for letting this one slide.
Yeah.
Just let it ride. When I write down 6 foot on my license, you just say yes, sir. Keep it pushing, right?
Exactly.
just keep it pushing. It's one place where we can, license plates, licenses are aspirational.
Right.
Height and weight aspirational. This is like what I want it to be. This is not what I am, but I'm a work in progress.
That's where I'm gonna get there one day. I'm gonna grow into this ID.
He's a growing young boy at 43 years old. I will get there. Those are our winners for today, Nick, man. Appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun,
so
dog.
fun.
You came in, you handled the whole day. Not just
an
an opener anymore, not just a middle reliever. He's a guy. Tyler Head, Jake Veltri up next. They're winners as always. This has been The Early Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Sponsored by SC Education Lottery. The South Carolina Education Lottery encourages all of their players to learn about your play before you pay. To learn how the odds work, common lottery myths, and the signs of problem gambling, check out sceducationlottery.com/betteryou. Playing the lottery for fun is a win for education.
When you're looking for an attorney, you don't need to look far for legal support you can trust. I'm Dewana Looper.
And I'm Joe Weidman.
We're not just the voices you hear, we're the faces you'll see if you come in. At Atkins Law, we believe you deserve a team that listens when you're in need. We're small on purpose, local by design, and serve with compassion.
Whether you've been hurt on the job or in a car wreck, recovery comes first. We'll handle the rest.
Remember, who you hire matters, so hire a team that cares. Check us out at hollyatkinslaw.com.
If your lawnmower sat all winter, you're running out of time to get it ready for spring. Now for a limited time, Cato's Power Equipment is offering special spring service pricing with push-more tune-ups starting at $100 and zero-turn services starting as low as $200. Let Cato's get your equipment tuned up and ready for the mowing season ahead. Need help getting your mower to us? Pickup and delivery starts at just $50. Don't wait. Call or stop by Cato's Power Equipment today and get your mower ready before the grass takes over. Visit catospowerequipment.com.
Plus tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. At JT's Jeep Ram, the savings are already built in. You can see for